we could have like Patty on the show. Like we could drink blood. I mean, we could have like Marky Mark, and we could talk about like Star Wars and stuff like that. You never know, man. Like it could be great. Like how would we get PewDiePie or whatever on the show?
They'll probably eventually come on.
What? Dude, we could get Elon Musk, dude. Like maybe think about our ideas. I mean, they want to break through the firmament so bad. Like maybe we could help.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I
So
keep my phone keeps breaking up because it's another ring. I had to charge it.
yeah,
I'm trying to pull up your chat here.
man, we got Patty in the chat, dude. We got everybody in the chat. Rock lovers in there.
Really?
Oh, everybody did. Probably nobody. I'm just kidding.
Let's see.
There's nobody in there.
Good.
Probably nobody. I'm just kidding. See, there's nobody.
One to YouTube.
You got one person watching, dude. Like we're fucking famous, bro. It's ball game. So speaking of ball games, dude, what's up? Like the Patriots win the Super Bowl every fucking year, and I'm surprised they haven't put like a hit on Tom Brady yet.
Well, they're kind of putting a hit on them now. It looks like.
Yeah.
Always something with them, man. Always the flake gate. It's been a couple things. Flake gate was the last thing I think that happened. Yes.
Yeah, man. I mean, I would think that they would have put a price on his head by now, like off Tom Brady. Like he wins every fucking time. But now they got this dude, Robert, the owner is like, I mean, like, but here's the problem I have is like, if you have all this money, if you're like such an Illuminati shill or whatever, like, why would you get caught unless, you know, everybody goes to West Palm Beach and gets like a hand job.
It's all, I mean, just good cop, bad cop. All it is. It's all, I don't believe any of it hardly. If unless they just want to bring somebody down to, like I said earlier, some of these big cats probably Trump, has his own operation going, and so he wants to bring his operation
Oh,
down.
I
One
see what you're
billionaire
saying.
against the other.
That's crazy, dude. Like, so it's good cop, bad cop, like you mean, but like nobody really goes to jail.
Probably not. I mean, if they go to jail, they're probably gonna have their sex slaves in jail and stuff.
Like you go to sex slave jail where you get everything you had before. Like,
And all that
damn.
they probably get more sex from you know any girls they want in jail than most of us having a freaking lifetime. On a daily basis, or a weekly basis. I don't want
You think that's why these like
that. And
flat earth shields are
all the
all kind
drugs.
of?
See
I
what?
mean, no, they're all like that mentality where you have. It's like normal to be like, because you get bored. I guess you have money and like you're just raised that way to where it's like you're just like, uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, because you think about like R. Kelly and like all these people, they become like bisexual and then they become uh, fucking pedophiles or whatever,
Hmm.
because they're bored as fuck. So they have like sex traffickers. They do all kinds of weird shit. They drink kids' blood and like
Think
they
about
eat
how
babies' brains and shit.
think about how weird it is that these parents let their kids go stay with Michael Jackson. These kids, they're a big time. They're like 4 or 5 years old. I'm just a huge Michael Jackson fan. He's my guy. That's what I heard. I read these articles the other day. I find it very hard to believe a kid at 4 or 5 years old, because I was there too, 4 or 5 years old. I had, maybe some records. I don't know, but I don't think I really had any records like that. Probably till
No,
I was a
that's a
little bit
good
older than
point.
4 or 5. But if
That's
I,
a great point.
I would say probably older than 4 or 5 before I had any records. I find it hard to believe that they were really idolizing these pop stars like Michael Jackson. And yeah, I want to go stay with this strange man. But his parents being all about it, they'll say, well, he had kind of a dysfunctional family, that were, I don't know, the dad was a alcoholic or a drug addict, or the mother wasn't really much around or something. You know what I mean? It's just something stupid like that. And so they just, heck, let's just ship Johnny off to Michael Jackson's Neverland.
Fuck.
I don't
Fuck that
believe
shit.
that. I just
Heck
don't.
no.
It's just. I mean, well, I believe it happened. I don't know if I believe it happened. What to believe, but if
No, I mean it's crazy to think about. And even like Martin
they're
Luther's
all
talk.
they're all Satanists, and just they just their parent his
Yeah.
parent these kids, if any of it's true, there's these parents were Satanists and supplying these pop stars and politicians, and always have, with their kids, and in exchange for, I don't know, some kind of satanic blessing or something,
Yeah,
money,
exactly.
or whatever.
I mean, what else could it be? I mean, like, there's this whole fucking Tartar shit. They were talking about these orphan trains, like back in the 1930s, with all these kids on these trains, and they're workers. Like, all these kids were workers, and like, where all these kids come from?
Hmm.
Like, where are all these kids' parents? And there's
They had to establish a supply line. I would say, and it could be that some of these are just born into slavery. A lot of these, or some third world country, or countries born into the slavery kind of thing. But probably they have suppliers, man. It's big business. You you give birth to all these kids. These people that are either Satanist, or I guess it could be other sex slaves or whatever. But there are people that they're supplying. I'd say probably sex slaves, or but certainly hooked on a lot of good drugs. They supply them, and you give birth to these kids and give them to us. We'll keep you supplied with drugs or money, or you know, but I mean, there's got to be a supply line for these kids. And assembly line for
no,
these
yeah,
kids.
I agree, and that's the fucked up. This is the fucked up part. And what's crazy is that you were like saying it's a battle between sex rings or whatever. It's like I got my sex ring, you got your sex ring,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
like and
yeah.
like, but see, I
And
mean,
you
like,
got to
I think,
bring somebody down to keep your operation going. Somebody's got to take the fall. If you believe it's all
yeah.
legit,
So
you
everybody's
could
setting
just
each
maybe,
other up.
yeah, but it
It's
could
like,
be just all BS, at the same time. But somebody's got to take the fall, at least, I guess, to keep the media
yeah.
and the good guy, bad guy thing going. I guess.
Well, they got to keep the the kind of awake people because you got those the Globers that are
Mm-hmm.
awake, but they're not fully awake. They think they are, but like if Robert Kraft gets arrested for like pedophilia or something, then that's a win for them. But they need to like if this is real, then like they would lock Hillary up. Like they would be truthful, you know. But we're having to pay like $800 for like Obamacare or something like on our taxes if we didn't have it or something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even file taxes yet, but I just found that out. Like I got to pay eight
Yeah.
hundred dollars because I didn't get Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is
It
that,
ain't Trump. Trump's working diligently to get that overturned.
dude? I'm about to just like file like whatever it's called, no no compliance to that shit. uh,
Yeah.
uh, fuck, that's not fair,
It's
man.
messed up, man. Shoot,
I
I don't
mean,
know what. I don't know if I'd have to go back and look at my taxes, but I paid a lot more this year for taxes than some people probably, I hate to say it, make it. You know, and I don't didn't get much of a return either. So I don't know. So, I don't know what's changed, but I don't know, man. It's it's going to support the satanic way. That's why I'm going to cut back this year, or something, man, because I'm just tired of supporting
so, I know
Uncle
what you
Uncle
mean, but
Sam.
like, how do you feel about like just living in America and like just going like paying the taxes and like just doing the shit and like having your, I always say like white picket fence and like it's okay. It's not like they don't make us think we're slaves, but really truthfully we are slaves, but in a nice way. Like in a nice way though.
It's like I told you, I was sitting one time in the crane. I was sitting thinking, where's all this pipe going? I mean, where in the world? And it just dawned on me about how I was building the pyramids, basically. Just supporting whatever their new world order agenda is. I was that's what I'm doing. It's
That's
they
crazy
just keep
cuz
and they keep us busy to
yeah.
keep our mind. And then when we're off, they keep us busy with entertainment.
Yeah,
And
man. And I do the same thing like I'm at work and it's like a church like has all this money to pay for all this new technology or whatever, and then like I have to deal with these cable companies and whatnot.
yeah,
Um, but I invited Brian to the show. What's up, Brian? You there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
going
I'm
on.
glad.
Oh, not much, not much.
We were just talking about how like we go to work and like we're kind of working for the beast, you know,
100%. Yeah.
Building those pyramids.
building the
That's what
pyramids.
you're doing. You're building the next civilization. Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, they work you to death, man. When you
We're.
retire, they hope you die.
I think it's like we're working to enslave our future children. We're
Yeah.
building the future slave system. We think we're enslaved now. You wait 50 years, John. You see what our grandkids are like.
Oh, I worry about that
Yeah. It's
big
scary,
time.
buddy.
It really is. It's changing drastically, man. Every day it's getting.
Yeah. It's what's the saying? Everything changes, but everything stays the same, right? You look around and you think, well, it's all the same. But then when you really think about it, nothing's the same. It's not the same as it was when I was a kid. You
Mhm.
know, things have changed in 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what 50, is going to be like.
I'm almost get sad, and sometimes when I see kids coming into the world. I mean, it's
Mm,
sad to think that way,
yeah.
but it's just you got to be and you're gonna, and I mean, we can see so clearly that it's so pushing toward that. you got to be a part of the system in every way, and that means that your way of thinking has got to change to be a part of this world.
Yeah.
I hope that I can get through, and that sounds so horrible to say, to where that I'm not faced with these, but I probably will be at some point where I have to make a decision whether I'm going to completely sell out to keep
Uh,
my life going. You know what I mean?
I do.
yeah.
So, because
I have.
they're gonna, I think it's gonna come down to, are you, do you believe in God, or do you believe in, what do you believe? And if it's, if depending on what you tell them, you may not be able to get work, or
That's
you know.
that's the prediction, John. That's the prediction, buddy.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're going to have to take the mark of the beast. You're going to have to conform. I can see a future of re-education for people like me, for my kids, because we're really coming to a time where our opinions as I don't want to label us, our opinions as people who question science, who question the ball earth theory, the evolution, all of that mainstream, the vaccines, the don't trust your government, the
Yeah.
the anti-public school, all of those opinions. It's coming down to it now where when you voice those opinions in public, you're shamed, you're ridiculed. And if it was legal, John, they would be chasing us with pitchforks and axes. They
Hmm.
really would. I can see it coming. And
Yeah.
re-education is what our kids have to look forward to.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And it won't be as bad as it sounds. Like they'll make it sound pretty. Like they make everything sound so pretty, right? Like
Hmm.
they'll say we got to send your kids to this school. They're not going to call it a re-education center. They're going to call it
Uh-uh.
something glorious, right? Like the illuminated school of alchemy or something,
Yeah.
something crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, and that's
And
that's our
one thing
future.
that they've been doing for years is trying to make us all out, and it's getting worse, of course, but making us all out to be bigots. If you stand for the truth, then you're obviously a bigot or a racist or something. They try to put it all
Yeah,
together or
you're a
package it
Nazi.
in.
Yeah,
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 and
It's
which
getting bad.
it's, turns people away from you, and
yeah,
it's going to be hard to work. I mean, you can't stand for any kind of morals at all.
yeah.
They're
Uh,
turning everything upside down
Dude, I
backwards.
can't even say that we didn't land on the moon or anything. Like in real life, like if I go around, like I can only talk to you guys. Like I literally in my real life, I cannot say like science is fake, or I can't question gravity, or like farts float or smoke float. Like
Yeah,
smoke
yeah,
floats, bro.
Stop talking about that.
yeah. And depending on what area you live in, you can't question say the conservative Republican or Democrats. If you're living in certain parts of the country, you've got to be pro Democrat or pro Republican. Where I live, it's pro Republican, pro Trump, and you can't question anything that he does. I mean, I guess he could come out tomorrow and just say he wants to shoot a group of people, and I mean,
Yeah.
it would be the greatest thing in the world. I mean, it's
Yep.
Hey, Brian, do you have access to? Because I don't think John has seen the Beyond the Curve or whatever Beyond the.
Oh, that's on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't think he knows like the mockery, or like I guess they prove that we're spinning at 15 miles or what?
Oh,
Hey,
it's
what?
it's bad, John. It's bad, John. It's bad, man. Johnny pretty
I
much
knew it
summed
was
it up. Yeah,
coming.
Eh.
I knew it was coming, man. I knew
it's
it was
bad.
coming.
Oh man, you want a
I
good
saw
laugh?
it coming. I
Yeah,
saw it coming in 2015. I saw that they were going to turn this, that they were just going to come out and say it's a big joke, and we're behind it, controlling it.
pretty much. Yeah.
Which,
Patricia Steers in front of the directors or somebody. She's in front of somebody asking questions, and they're like, "Don't you realize that Bob doing that laser gyro laser experiment proves that there's a 15-degree spin in the Earth, and Patricia's like, yeah, and he's like, don't you realize that that could turn flat earthers into being ball earthers again? And she's like, yeah, I agree. Right?
That's probably the most information she's given as far as toward the flat earth.
Mhm. They know. They know full well.
Really?
What a bunch of shills, man.
I know.
The cast was unreal. I mean, they had IPS, they had Patricia, they had ODD, they had.
Oh, Math Powerland was a cartoon.
Oh
I
yeah,
missed
Matt
that.
Powerland was a cartoon.
Dude, they put him in a king chair. Or they put him in a throne with a throne and shit, like with a hat, like in it.
Yeah,
With
pretty
fleur de
fleur-de-lis.
lis, fleur de lis on top, fleur de
Yeah.
lis on top, dude.
Oh man.
Can't forget that. You know.
Oh shit.
He representing well, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only one they didn't have in the documentary, John, was Eric Dubay. Not a
Of
word.
course, he's
Eric Dubay.
hiding out, man. He's got to be the main guy, you know, hiding out. He's not with all these shields.
Yeah.
But he was on. But he was in Star God's chat the other night, which is totally shilly as fuck.
Oh yeah, living it up. Yeah. Go Star Gods. Star Gods all over him. I hate to brag you up, Eric, but I love your videos, man. Your videos are awesome.
Well, he took him off his shield wall of shame. So
Yeah.
I took him off my wall too, and had to clean it up a little.
That's funny.
Still on my grandson touched it.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute.
Well,
Wait
I
a
want to
minute.
make some more copies, dude.
Oh shit. This is too much fun. We don't even have to say anything. We just have too much fun.
Oh man, these people.
The fact you
These
took him off your wall says it all, John. Right?
These people. Oh man. Hell, I didn't know they'd done the curve thing, or the video. I saw it on Twitter that somebody had said something about that. I saw somebody doing a Felix experiment.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't even know what he's talking about. Some guy was doing on that video Netflix you're talking about.
Yeah.
Some guy was doing some kind of Felix experiment, and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, just another guy that's an actor.
Yep.
Shield agent.
Yep.
And I don't even know who this guy is. I guess he's one of the new cast members, I guess.
Okay.
I assume.
Well, they say words that I don't even think of, like operative. Like, who says operative? Like,
Yeah, I know.
And they'll be like, yeah, he's an operative. And I'm like,
No, you're a shill.
yeah. What the fuck? I never thought of that. That's a good one. Like, you're an operative. What does that even mean?
Yeah, the whole film basically was like she even talked about how people on the internet are calling her a reptilian and a transgender, and what was the other one that she drinks blood and
yeah, it's everything we did, John.
Yeah.
Like I never called her reptilian though.
No, that was me.
That was
no.
the Shields.
No. Actually, John,
Oh,
I'm the only one that did that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have a video that like it's like all creepy, it's like neener, and it like creeps in on her eye and like.
But you could tell he was joking.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean,
completely tell it was.
Dude,
well, I'm sure there's been somebody that said that though that was serious, or let's put it this way, they were shilly serious. I mean, they were. I'm sure somebody has said it. besides you.
But the one I did on Sunny Peaches though was creepy as fuck. Like I was like believing, I was like, holy shit, like she's probably a reptilian, you know?
Yeah, I debunked that one.
No, I know
I believe the Patty one more than that one.
dude, it's a reflection. Yeah. No, but I got this new thing, John, where it's like, okay, so Patty might have like more than one Patty. Like she has body doubles, right? So I got this new like body double thing where, because she kind of looks really similar sometimes, and then other times she looks like a completely different person. And then, like, I was looking at Matt Boylan, the actor. He looks completely different than Matt Powerland. Like, it looks like a different person, you know. And then I was looking at IPS, and then I was looking at the guy that did the Sandy Hook thing.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of look similar,
Look a lot.
but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not really
They're
sure.
crisis actors. And
yeah, exactly.
they've
That's
been in
the
all kind of.
exactly.
And his family, hey, goes back a long way. So it's something to be proud of.
Oh man,
I'm glad that cousin David is telling what's up. You know.
I mean, that's something that's not to be ignored of lately. Like we've been coming across these families. Like even if you're not a Pratt, like why use that name? You know, if you're not a Pratt. If you're not a Pratt at heart, like if you're not like truly a Pratt, like your cousin or like maybe your real name's Pratt and your other dad's name's Pratt or something.
Well, it's just like somebody, I think it was that Paul Michael Bales or whatever said that Eric's name really was like Eric Michaels or something. But he's using the name DeBay, which, as we have showed, there are Jesuit priests that look a lot like Mr. DeBay and push some big time agendas. So
dark movements and everything.
And same with the Bolins, and the Bolins go all the way back to basically the Ann Bolin thing, you know.
Yep.
You know, the Campanellas, all big families. I mean, this is the biggest conspiracy, hidden secret conspiracy. So they've got gatekeepers that have held this, you know, and now putting it out. Been putting it out since 2015, and I don't know what their ultimate agenda is, but apparently it's to get us all psyched out and then say, you know, it's a bunch of crap, I guess. And I think Rome's done the same thing with the Bible and everything. I think at some point Rome's going to come out and say it's all a bunch of crap. We lied about everything, and everybody's going to lose their faith.
Well, they'd love that.
You know what I mean?
They'd love that.
I think that's what they've tried to set us up to do, is to try to, you know, they put out truth and disinfo at the same time, and then at the end of the day, we all, with all these scandals, Brian, all these pedophile scandals, Rome's going to crumble, and they're going to eventually just come out and admit that they're all frauds. You know what I mean? It's all a bunch of shit.
It was funny. I was watching the news, this big thing about Rome being sorry for the pedophile scandals and stuff. And then all of a sudden this headline comes up. Nun shows up at the Vatican to protest being sexually abused. And I'm just like, wow, even the nuns are complaining, right? The nuns are being abused by the priests and other nuns. It's like, but the place is ripe with it. And another thing I noticed, John, is now I'm not scared to say that I don't think these Catholics are Christians per se, okay? I think they're of another faith than what I am of. They're not the same as me. And so, but I see in the world today, Catholics are being held up as the only Christians.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's really infuriating. It's infuriating.
Yeah, exactly. When you watch these movies, it's always the priest that's the one that's doing the funerals or doing the ceremonies, or or when you go to a church, hey, we're going to church on Sunday. Well, where do they go? They're going to the priest, you know, to the Catholic Church.
Yeah. They're being held up right now as the only true Christians on the earth.
Yes.
Yep. And it's us.
And so
it's designed. By faith.
It's designed to make it all crumble together.
Yep. And it's
Because
the
when,
Roman
as
Catholic Church that's making the Bible look so foolish too, John.
yes,
Yep.
yes, always. That's what they do. And like I was telling Johnny one day, there's a scripture where Paul speaks about how he would become all things to all men to reach people for the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What he is saying is that, in the right moral way, he's not saying he would become a drug addict or a pedophile or something like that to reach. But see, somebody could take it the way. Well, the Jesuits have taken scriptures like that and twisted them to take forth their gospel of the Pope and their agenda to the world, and becoming agents all over the place to confuse and divide and conquer and even fight against each other for their cause.
Yep.
That's what they do. They're able to use scripture for their purposes.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people can't understand that, okay, two Jesuit priests, okay, one Jesuit priest could go control the flat earth movement. This is just an example. And another Jesuit priest could go take over the globe earth movement, but they could both fight and threaten to kill each other and backstab each other. And as long as in the end Rome wins, that's all that matters to those two priests. And in the end, they're friends. They're brothers.
Exactly.
Right?
They've destroyed a lot of people's lives.
Right.
And the truth as a result of all that.
Exactly. Yep.
That's what they do, man.
People can't see that though. Right. I
it's
get
just
that.
It's just like the eating the flesh and drinking the blood, They take that literally, and so they probably even incorporated into their their satanic masses and things like that we don't hear about.
it's because they're of the flesh. They don't believe in Jesus Christ, so they can't really understand anything the Bible says spiritually. Only people that have the faith on Jesus can understand the spiritual matters, right?
Right.
That's where the Bible opens up to me. Sometimes I doubt the word of God, and then sometimes I'm just like, but if I pray and I ask God to speak to me and teach me some wisdom, he'll do that in a Bible, he'll do that in a book, he'll do that on a TV show. He'll do that anywheres, So to me it's just pure faith, but that's what these Roman Catholics hate. They don't get that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They destroyed my family. You got to work your fingers to the bone for the Catholic Church when you're part of it, right?
Wow. Yeah, you do.
And they're always ungrateful.
And that's the way these religions in the past were, where they would whip themselves and cut themselves and dance before their gods and all that stuff. It's no different. Always working to please him, and the work was carried out on the cross. You understand? I mean,
I understand that.
So,
yeah, I do.
And to keep us from having to do all these things, which you can't appease him anyway, because we cannot rise up to his level. You know what I mean? Ever. It had to be his son that took on that responsibility, because he was perfect in all his ways.
Yeah. Yep.
Something we can't be.
That's something a lot of men can't.
And that makes sense to me. That there had to be a perfect man to be a perfect sacrifice. You know what I mean? There had to be.
Yeah.
Because none of us can sacrifice our lives, because we fall short of that. That ability, just by our flesh itself. And what's in our flesh, I guess. We got off on that pretty quick.
It's interesting. It is. It's interesting. The whole question I get about the whole works thing. How come you don't? It's like the Catholic Church. You don't work your fingers to the bone to try to get to heaven, and some people just don't get my explanation the way you just explained it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It is. I walk in the spirit, right? So even though I might smoke a joint or smoke a cigarette, my flesh will always be at war with my spirit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
always, forever.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not walking in my flesh no more, am I? I'm walking in my spirit. So before God, I'm sin free because Jesus Christ paid that price, because Jesus Christ stands in the way as my mediator between God and me. So
yeah.
I'm we're we're always. I hate to say I'm sin free, but in the spirit, I'm always sin free. My flesh is always going to smoke.
Corrupted.
It's always going to want to do the evil thing. You know, like
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's a war continuously.
yeah, yeah,
Paul's supposed
yeah,
to talk that.
yeah,
And the whole world does this too. It's not just the religions or what. It's the whole world is always working. Like I talked about building those pyramids earlier. The whole world has this concept of doing something to make things better,
yeah.
and or it may be to make things worse. To enslave us. But whatever, they're working toward a goal, a purpose,
Yep.
and they don't have they don't have their faith. It's not, it's in working to make a better thing. And when we should be looking toward the right kingdom that's to come.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only kingdom that will ever work will
Yep.
be a kingdom run by Him.
Yep.
It can't work anyway because we're all imperfect, and so you can't make something that's imperfect perfect except through Him.
Yep. Yep. The guy that spoke this whole world into existence, right? You
Yeah,
know.
Brings up a
yeah,
good point. Sound waves, like spoke. It's
Yep.
like everything is like sound.
Yep.
It's crazy.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
hmm
So that scripture right there is saying that the spoken word was God. Like
hmm
it doesn't get
yeah,
any more deeper than that, right?
hmm
And then think
yeah,
about how your words affect people
I
and things.
can't even
hmm
imagine, like, if you really think about, like,
yeah.
all this,
Hurt
like,
people too,
Yep.
smoke to that. I'll smoke to that. Drink one to that.
And you can kind of speak things into existence. You could say, okay, in 10 years, I want to be here, right?
hmm
So you
Yes.
kind of can. I mean, we'll never be God, but we'll never understand this earth. And that's why a long time ago, I stopped proclaiming to be a flat earther
hmm
because I haven't seen enough evidence to say that the earth is 100% flat.
It's
I
hollow, bro.
think it
No,
is. I think it
dude.
is. I can
It's
say, yeah,
there's reptilians under the ground.
but I can
If you
say
go
I
to
know it's not a ball,
Antarctica,
right?
it's hollow, bro.
Yeah. But I know it's not a ball. I know science is
Yeah.
completely full of shit, right?
Yeah.
The Bible does not straight up tell me it's flat. The 18 something edition, the Matthew edition of the Bible, John, actually states in it that for the soldiers to go lay their tents out on the flat earth. It actually
hmm
has the words flat earth in it, but a
Yeah.
lot of people tell me it's just talking about a flat field, Brian. So I say, well, okay, I give you the benefit of the doubt, right? Just a coincidence.
I know it was very hard for my grandson to get up that hill earlier, man, with this little horse he's got.
Yeah.
It's a toy horse
Yeah.
because it was, but when he got on that flat pavement,
Yeah.
he was wide open, brother.
Yeah.
That's how we operate every day, man. It's hard for Lucius to get up on my house because it's got a little angle to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's if it was completely flat, it would be a little bit easier for him.
But there's parts of your roof that are flat.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Definitely. But
Completely
absolutely, man.
flat. I mean, like,
Absolutely.
you put a level on that shit, and it's
Hmm.
level as fuck.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I mean, like, smoke doesn't rise because gravity isn't in reverse.
I know.
Gravity is in reverse when you think about it. Like, gravity's so amazing, like, it pushes things down, but then it sucks things up.
I know, right? It's like the story.
So,
There you go ahead.
yeah, helium. No, helium. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
go ahead.
That's
I
like I
just
was
don't.
saying the other day about the Chinook. John, they actually say, okay, in a Chinook, you know what that is? It's where the warm air, the cold air hits the mountain range and it compresses, and there's so much pressure that it comes over the mountain range. It flows into the valley below it as warm air. But they're saying that gravity is what's pulling that warm air down. And it's just it's unreal. It's unreal the way they're spinning gravity now. It's gravity everything, right? Gravity everything.
It's got that much power, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it holds us down to the earth, Uh, it's crazy, man.
And then I find out the whole story with Isaac Newton, right? The whole apple falling on his head was written
Yeah.
by a Rosicrucian named Francis Bacon. Okay, the whole story was made up, and it was a Rosicrucian, Francis Bacon, a secretive knight, that wrote the story. Right? So it's
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
so their theory, yeah.
Yeah.
Fact nowadays, though. Yeah.
Oh man.
Funny how
Yeah,
dark.
there was a lot of those Rosicrucians. I heard that Martin Luther might have been a Rosicrucian.
He was definitely controlled. He was definitely
Yeah.
controlled. He was with the Catholic Church. He was a
Oh yeah.
fake Baptist priest for sure. I know that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know. Maybe there was a couple other of those Protestant reformers that might have been
Yeah.
uh, Rosicrucians or whatever. But
It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
did you see the video, Brian, where somebody zoomed in on like these stars and they supposedly zoomed in further? I didn't see them zooming in at all. I just saw these things that look like what I've taken footage of or whatever. It looks like stars or whatever, and they supposedly zoomed in further and zoomed in on this big white looking background that looks like salt or ice or something, and he claims that this is the firmament. Have you seen that
No,
video?
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one. Last
It
Star
was
video.
from YouTube, but it was on Twitter where I saw it.
Okay. Okay.
So, but yeah,
Look it up. Look it up, B. I
I
got you
will.
presented. I'm
Oh, okay.
presenting you right now.
All
I
right.
want you to look up this video because he told me about this video.
All right. So what am I typing in here? Give me a keywords or something here.
I don't know.
I guess it would be the camera footage of the firmament, maybe.
All right.
Or say that might be something like that. Or firmament footage on camera, caught on camera or something.
Nuclear test footage, firmament dome, firmament.
I put nothing in the tags or whatever the fuck. I put nothing in here, so there's nobody watching. I should have put flat Earth. I don't care. Fuck them.
Don't remember what channel it might have been on. Do you?
Uh,
Firmament dome filmed
yeah,
live on camera
maybe that's it.
a month ago.
I'm trying to think of that guy's name. Um, I think it might have been this guy named Keith Poker or something, but at least the guy that sent it on Twitter was named Keith Poker.
Can you guys all see?
Not yet. No.
Let me see.
Okay, let me fix it up. There we go. Now you should see me.
I see it. I see
All
it.
right. This might not be the one, but I can look around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I love you, Brian. Your family's great. What's up, kids?
Man, we got our 11-year anniversary coming up in a few days, so that's big
Ooh,
news.
that's a long time, dude.
Getting there, buddy.
Long time.
Is that this one? Is this the one that? No.
Now it should start out with star footage,
Starfoot.
and
All right.
mm,
Book of You know,
The firmament dome filmed by some guy with some CG graphics.
Mm,
that's not
let
it.
me see. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, find it, John.
Let me
All
go
the
to
shit you're
Twitter.
talking.
Yeah, let me go to Twitter see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, because Brian's presenting like he's gonna do all the hard work. Like I'm just gonna take the punch.
Yeah.
Firmament is revealed. 160 zoom. Firmament is revealed.
Would that be it? I don't. Let's see. That's it. That's it right there, Brian.
All right, cool. That was easy. Hey, right
No
on.
coincidences on flat Earth.
I think that's it. I believe that is it, dude.
All right. Donnie of Daytona.
Oh, I love his
Yep,
intro. I have that app, dude. I have the same app. We use that for the Shill Awards.
that's it.
All right, so yeah, I've seen video stars like that. The zoomed in
Yeah,
kind of looks like they're in water, doesn't it?
it does look like they're water.
Yeah.
It really does, man.
And then if I hate to bring this up, but I watched some douchebag do an experiment once where he was sitting in the bathtub and he was playing with some flashlights and some different colored material that he was putting in front of the flashlight, and it was kind of looking the same as this. It was like he was replicating this very thing we're
I would
looking at
like to
here.
see that. I would
It was
definitely like to
really
see
neat. He
that.
took the video down a long time ago. He's a shithead, and I don't want to say his name. So,
Yeah.
but it showed me that the stars very well could be in water. I mean, the Bible, John says that
Mm-hmm.
water's above the firmament, water's below the firmament, right? So,
I think I know
divided,
who you're talking about.
you know,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
okay, yeah. It was. That was good, man. I would like to do something like that myself, just to
yeah,
because you see the little bit of moving going on, and you can see the wave too, like when you're zoomed in on the moon or something like that.
yeah.
You can see something going on. I didn't at first. I thought they were talking about a wave, like a electromagnetic wave or something. But
Okay,
when I first started watching that years ago,
yeah.
but nah, it looks like it may be water.
I'm thinking, and it. I might be wrong, but it looks like there's some kind of like electricity involved at the same time, right?
Could be, yeah,
And
definitely.
some of them are different colors, some of them are different shapes, right?
Yeah.
Some of them are
Oh yeah.
octagons, some of them are pentagons, some of them are different.
That's
Mm-hmm.
a perfect circle, though. This one.
This one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost looks like a cell, doesn't it, that they show us under a
It
microscope.
does.
This is the
That's
outer
what
This
they're
is
layer.
saying.
crazy.
Here's the
This is
nuclei
fucking
in the center
crazy.
of the cell, right?
Yeah, they
It's
screwed
fucking
with us
crazy.
and made us think that these are really cells and atoms and stuff when they're really stars.
Yeah, yeah.
What they call planets, you know.
But do you
We'll,
think
we'll show them
this?
planets and tell them that's what they look like inside themselves.
Yeah.
But do you think?
Yeah.
And
Do you
then we'll
think?
get Neil Tyson to come tell you you're Stardust.
Oh man, this guy on Twitter told this Glover guy was like, "It's out of focus. It's out of focus." Does that look like it's out of focus to you? It looks great to me. I
It
mean,
does
I'm not. This guy's
look
probably the
pretty
biggest
good.
shield in the world, but it still looks great. It
Uh,
doesn't look out of focus, man.
Not really.
He's zoomed in. I mean, I don't think you can get a ball out of that, man. Like, oh my, it's so out of focus. It's really a ball. You know?
You got to think about this too. If they're as far away as they say they are, you wouldn't be able to see them with the camera, right?
uh-uh.
No. You know.
Like I've said before, I'm not sure that you could even see the sun if it was that far away that they say it
No,
is. You
exactly.
know?
Exactly. 95 million miles away, right? Like, come on, give me a break. No, nobody can comprehend, John. Nobody can comprehend the number million, billion, and trillion. They just can't because they don't think that big, Steve.
Oh, I know, man. You know why they say that though? It's to prove that the Earth's a ball. Because
Yeah,
if you can see the sun from 93 million miles away, why can you mean you not see Antarctica from our house right now, man?
exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Right. Right.
It all goes hand in hand, man.
Your eyes can
So
see to the sun, but they can't see to
so
Paris.
how
Yeah.
the fuck do we have this airstream like this like you said, John, like so a jacuzzi, like everything's perfect, like the earth, the way it works, like it all gets replenished, and if it's a dome and we're stuck in here, like we would all die, like everyone's farts like kills, you know,
Well,
like
I mean,
if we're stuck in a
it's.
snow globe.
I think you got a circulation going on, man, of
Yeah, there's got to
everything
be a way
in the
out
building.
though. I mean, you can't have just like
You
a
talking
fucking
about
room.
vents and shit like that? I
Yeah,
mean,
like we gotta
basically,
have a vent. You gotta have
you
a
got to,
freaking
man.
fuck,
Yeah,
man.
it works like an HVAC system, man.
Okay,
That's
like
and that's
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm
We
telling
got
you, dude, they stole this technology from what the Earth is.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
what
an
they do.
HVAC system.
She'll do
They
their
didn't
own.
just come out with this shit on their own.
No.
Just one day, like, some guy said, I've got this brilliant idea because I'm a genius and my IQ's, off the charts. They found this shit, dude, and they repackaged it and created our own system and world that we live in
Yeah.
today. Our whole technology with television, everything, and most of it's a mockery of God. It's just not that they've repackaged it as a mockery
Yeah.
to say, hey, we're gods
That's
and
right.
we've created our own reality and world.
That's right. If you look at all the new science programs with the robotics, like the MIT and the military programs, they're all trying to mimic nature with their new robots. You know, they're making animals, they're trying to mimic dragonflies, they're trying to fly things like bats, and they're always doing that. And that comes
Mm-hmm.
from a Rosicrucian agenda as well, right? It's the study
Mm-hmm.
of nature and its
Yeah.
sciences, and it's to say that we're better than God. We can do this better. I was listening to a story on the radio today, how they were talking about they're going to start changing all the forests on Earth because
Mm-hmm.
they're saying that trees have a thing, and it's called photosynthesis. Okay, it's in the leaves. But they're saying there's also a reverse photosynthesis. Okay, and they need
Yeah.
to fix that. So they're genetically modifying all the trees and replanting them into forests, into managed forests, so that the trees no longer recycle oxygen. The trees are going to start recycling the carbon dioxide. Yeah, it's
Wow.
messed up. I was like, it's Rosicrucian all over. It's wanting to control nature. We can do it better than God, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Evolution,
Yep.
evolution
Yep.
bullshit.
Yes.
Somewheres along the timeline, John, the trees had a misfire. They said a reset. Okay, and they started destroying the oxygen in themselves and leaving the
Mm.
carbon dioxide. So we need to change that and evolve the trees to their next stage.
Yeah. It's always that God doesn't have a clue what he's doing,
Yeah,
and we've got to fix it. We've
yeah,
got to get off this planet. There's so
yeah.
many movies coming out about fixing the environment or getting off this planet. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. I'm on my way
It's
to Mars. Yep. Yep.
and if anything is changing, they're the ones that are doing it. Obviously,
Hmm.
it's nothing changing except for what they're. It's manufactured change
Yeah.
to try to come against God's creation,
Yeah.
destroy God's creation,
And
and
the
turn.
people's minds are ripe for this too. The people's
Yeah,
minds are ready, right? It's like I keep
yeah,
passing that scripture on to you about everybody being given over to a deception. That's
hmm
that's where we're at, man.
yeah,
You said it yourself. You can't talk about none of this with anybody else because you
yeah.
feel like you just don't fit in, right? It's
Right.
everybody's blinded, man.
Yeah,
Makes you
they're
feel alone. It sure
zombies.
does.
Yeah, they're the Walking Dead,
Yeah, yeah,
and they love that show
yeah.
too.
And I stand in a room
Guess they
full of
got something in common with it.
I stand in a room full of people and they're all talking about things and I'm just standing there like, well, what do I talk about? Because anything I want to talk about, these guys, they don't want to talk about it, you know? So you're just
You just, yeah,
a
you
fart in the
just kind of
corner,
grunt.
right?
Yeah, you just kind of grunt, and smile or something.
Yeah.
And they'll look at you like when they're talking about Donald Trump or something. They'll look at you like you're on the same page.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Man, my new thing,
Anyway,
like when it gets to it, it's like when you get caught in a situation where like they'll ask you, "Are you a flat earther?" Because like you'll be questioning shit. Like, man, that because like part of you won't take it. And you'll be like, "No, that's bullshit," you know. And they'll be like, "Are you a flat earther?" Or like if they really get to you, my new shit is like, I don't believe in believing.
That's it. Yeah.
And the reason, and I know you guys might think that's kind of weird, but I mean, it's a mind fuck for them. So it's
Well,
like,
exactly. It's the same reason I always say, Johnny, I don't believe in anything but Jesus, right? Like to believe on something is to put your belief into it. I don't believe in the flat earth. The
I'm
flat earth
just
ain't going to save me. It ain't going to
Yeah,
help
I'm
me.
just wanting to look at. I want to learn the truth. I just want to
Exactly.
know. I don't care about belief or believing or. I
Exactly.
mean, I know that there's a miracle. I know there's not a coincidence. Like there's some shit that's just not a coincidence. You know,
But
yeah,
that's just their way of boxing you up, man. Put a nice little label on.
it's a fucking Truman Show. Somehow we're inside of a
it is.
fucking Truman Show. But I'm curious about these vents now. Like how the fuck?
Telling you, man, it's like it's everything that we have in technology. They want to take us completely away from God, Johnny, and put us in our own bubble, our own reality, our own system, to where we will be God free. And that's what a lot of these movies are pushing.
Yeah.
This future apocalyptic system where we're all trying to survive and everything. They
Yeah.
want us to be completely reliant on them as God and forget about God. And their mindset, I think, is crazy, to where they think that if we can get completely away from God, then God won't have he won't be able to mess with us. If we're all on the same page, either we'll be able to defeat him, or he won't be able to judge us all. You know what I mean? There won't be any kind of, as crazy as this sounds, there won't be any kind of, at the end of the day, there won't be any kind of judgment against any of these people if we're all on the same page.
Mm.
How can he come against these Satanists and destroy them if we're all Satanists with them? You know what I mean? That he's got to, that he's got to have compassion on all of us if we're all together. Like I said, that may not be the whole thing, but they definitely want to get us on the same page to come against God, or to try to come against his world,
Yeah.
and maybe even fight against God. I think that's what the extraterrestrial thing is about. Is that they're trying to sell us that there's going to be an invasion, and it's to fight against God. Ultimately, but they just want us to be on, completely away from God, minds completely away from the thought of God, to where that we will be completely reliant on their way of thinking, and you know, they could, and they will be our gods.
We'll see. It'll be okay to worship God as long as it's Lucifer, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah,
long as it's
true,
the light bearer,
true,
it's as
true,
long as it's the
true.
one that brought us all this knowledge and wisdom.
That is true. That is true. Yes, yes, that is true. Yeah.
Hey,
That
so
would
it,
be ultimately, that's the secret that's been hidden behind all this, is that Lucifer is God.
Yeah, and they got us, John, because I mean,
Yeah.
look at how angry I can get sometimes at some of these Luciferian followers. I mean, I won't say no names, but there's one fellow that sticks out in particular. Okay, he's got a Baphomet mask behind his head. He's got a Baphomet tattooed on his arm. He listens to satanic music, but I mean, you talk to the guy, and he's like one of the nicest guys in the world, right? So you
I
mention
think I know
these
what you're
things
talking
to
about.
him. You're like, so what's up with all this satanic stuff? And he's like, oh, well, what do you mean? I'm a good guy. And it's like, well, yeah, but don't you see it? And then out of the next breath, he's cursing God, and it's just like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I get it, right?
Because it's a game to them, man.
Yeah,
It's a code, because it's just like these people like Kiss, or these rock bands that dress all evil
Yeah.
and come out and they'll say, people will say they're not really Satanists, they're just entertainers, and they're doing what they got to do to entertain. They're selling satanic stuff like we sold our soul to the devil, or
Yep.
Symphony of the Devil, or this and that. It's just good entertainment that all these kids are buying and going out and getting tattoos on them, that say I serve Satan or 666 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's
But
just all fun. How many kids have become Satanists as a result of these groups?
exactly.
But it's just good, harmless entertainers making money.
Nailing
But
it.
you got to understand, Satan is a liar and deceiver, and he
That's right.
uses trickery and deception
That's right.
in everything he does. So where he's selling you this good, it's all a mask of it is a mask of deception. But that's what he does. They're working for Satan, and they're always lying. They're
I
always
mean, how can you say anything bad about a Satanist? I mean, they're vegans, right? They're all for the homosexual transgender agenda. They're
exactly.
accepting, they're tolerant, they're
Hmm.
animal rights people. They're
They're
looking out
politically
for
correct.
humanity, man.
They're politically correct. Yeah.
And you can
Yeah,
have
they're
like
good
hundreds
people,
of
buddy.
millions of dollars and like manifest anything like Lamborghinis and stuff.
Just ignore the blood they're drinking at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's just for entertainment, right? You know,
Yeah.
Kiss taught me that
Mm.
I do every night.
Yeah,
Don't
popcorn's
worship Satan,
great.
though.
Popcorn's great. Popcorn's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so
Oh
John,
shit.
John, so you said like they show the firmament on this video.
Yeah, go to the end of it. It's
All
got to
right.
be. It's toward the end.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You'll
Play with
see.
it.
There
Play
you
with
go.
it, B.
That's it. If
Wow.
he talks about it in the video.
That. It's like a matrix around that hole in the firmament or something. That's creepy.
What?
It looks like a yeah.
Look at that.
Weird.
What
Huh.
is that? What's that supposed to be?
Well,
It's supposed to be the firmament. It
it's
says
either
it is.
it's either the firmament or it could be the camera. I don't know. But
So like he zooms
crazy.
at some point or something.
Yeah, he
Wait, go
zooms
back.
in.
Play.
So I'll go back to the image before he did that. So that's what it looked like before he put. I think it's just a negative filter. That's all it is. So all this looks blue.
Yeah.
We can't see none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom!
Then boom.
Look at that.
Just boom like that.
Now it looks like it's all actually one piece.
You
It's
can't
like
have a boom
star.
like that.
Maybe like the star looks like it's like peeking through the firmament. Like there's a hole in
Yeah,
the firmament.
but the boom part got me. Like you can't just have a boom. Like when John films, like John talks and like he's like, "Yeah, I'm out here. I'm trying to get my stand working. I'm out by the pool, you know. I'm out here by the pool. Hold on, let me try to zoom in. Let me get it. Let me get it right, you know."
Let's see.
There's no boom, dude. There's no boom like that. You don't just go boom like that.
Boom! See? Told you. Hang on.
What the fuck is that shit?
And increase the brightness and various texture.
Okay, so he zoomed past it as far as he could. He increased the brightness, and boom.
He should have done that. He's screwing with his camera.
And boom.
He's using some kind of light or something.
He brightened it right up. Yeah. Added a little bit of that light to it.
What the fuck? What is that shit, dude? It's like a fucking piece of paper or something. I don't know what.
Maybe that's what he was storing. I mean,
He storing that shit. It was like some cocaine. He zoomed in on some cocaine.
that's
Like,
where his
oh,
head
look.
was at. He missed the line.
Man, what is this? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. That's the
I don't know,
firmament.
man. It may be. I mean, I don't
It
know.
might be the firmament. That's what they're trying to blow up, like
It's
the Tower of
interesting.
Babel.
Could be a close up from his coffee table, though. You don't know.
Or my popcorn
Haven't you
ceiling.
watched Matthew Powerland at all? I mean, like, you know how people can fake photos, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a painting. How do you know it's a photo? It could be
Oh.
a painting.
That would be a good shirt, Johnny. Photo or painting with this.
Yeah, there you go.
With like
Boom.
Patty's face on it.
Oh man. How
You
about
can
you
make it.
bet with the lightning thing,
You,
man?
you can make it one of those
That would
trick
go good with
shirts.
my thing.
You can make it one of those trick shirts
Yeah.
where when you stare at the
Yeah.
light for so long, and then you look at the shirt, it would show Patty's face.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Satan
Well, wait a
lives.
minute.
Like
Patty has that lightning bolt on one of the pictures I saw.
yeah, like Satan lives or something, or Satan's alive, you know, or like with Patty's face on it, or
Or put
or
some steers.
yeah. We could have like
Or
a
let's
whole
just get.
Satan.
Or go
We
get.
could,
How about David Pratt? We found David Pratt. He's
dude,
not in
Brian.
China after all.
Brian, remember when David Pratt was missing?
I remember he was
Dude,
missing for
remember
the longest time. There was nothing on the internet about him, and then boom, he was just back one day. All these posts, all these blogs.
David Pratt?
Like, Johnny, I found David.
Yeah, I mean, do you think Chris knew anything when he was doing the ESPN show that was going to be on Flat? The Flyer
Yeah.
talking.
Probably.
He probably talked to family ahead of time.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this interview.
Yeah.
I won't pretend like I'm not kidding
Like
y'all.
you
My
say.
glare.
Yeah, but where's Dan? Like Chris Pratt's probably worried about Dan.
Oh, yeah.
And Daniel, can't forget Daniel. But
There's so many, man. Did you see Brian that stuff in that book, that old book?
oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. So John is actually Truman himself, and his his roots go back to the Pratt Corporation.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
The Pratt Corporation actually built, Brian. I'll do a video about it sometime. The Freemasonic Lodge in the town I grew up in,
Wow.
and they own that whole area, the Pratt
Well
company.
connected. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
but
So-
yeah, and there's an article that talks about the canopy of the Earth from the. It shows like the picture of the dome and everything. This is like from 1911 or something.
oh wow.
Or maybe 1904.
there was
way
a
back.
store. There was a store. Sorry to interrupt because this is your story, John. But there was a store. I sent you a. Remember this book? There was a book that John found, or like like one of his relatives gave. But there's a store that John's family, his great grandparents owned, and the Pratts took it, man.
Oh wow.
Sure did. Yeah, there was a big
That's
fight. Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
eh?
It's in
How-
that
How
book.
close
It's
to
in
home
that
it
book.
hits, eh?
I know. And this is the area I talked about in the video called Flat Creek.
Okay. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
This is the real life Truman.
The Pratts own that whole area pretty much.
Dang.
Matter of fact, the main highway that comes through that area, which is a major highway, I didn't know this, but it's called Pratt Highway.
Don't ever let
It's
don't ever let anybody criticize you for being paranoid about the Pratts ever again, man. You got every right to be, brother. I'd be moving as far away from them Pratts as I could if I were you. No kidding.
It's too close to home, bro.
Dude, live with Tim
It's like
Pratt's cousin.
Hatfield and McCoy's, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, no shit. Oh man, crazy shit.
Popcorn's great.
That's the way them big families are, though, John. They keep it in the family, and it passes on, and it happens for generations to come, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
sure
why.
does.
I don't know why our buddy got the shitty end of the stick. I mean, Prince of Norway and all. You'd think he'd be living large.
The
I don't know.
black sheep of the family.
Yeah, he must be.
No. He's playing his He's an actor, man. He's
He
playing
had
his
to
role.
move into Marky Mark's basement or something in Seattle.
Oh man, I'm glad you mentioned that because at the beginning of this documentary, right, it starts off
Play it.
in Whidbey
Play it,
Island.
B.
I don't want
Play it.
Johnny.
Play it.
Man.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Dude, I don't care about 3 months, dude. Record it. Just record the show. I won't end the show until it's recorded.
All right, hang on.
You can just record the show.
No, I'm not recording it. I didn't get the heads up, so I didn't click record.
Well, you can. I won't end it until you do. I'm just kidding. Dude, but this is so funny, man. What you guys are talking about. Like, I think Ted Bundy was there.
Yeah, and he was, he did all his killings in Seattle, or a lot of his killings in Seattle, Brian. Ted Bundy, and they're up there in the mountains and stuff with some, or he's up there with some kids in the mountains up there, where they had their ritual.
Yeah, that sounds like another story I heard about. I might probably the same place. Something that Rock Lover keeps going on about, Johnny. What is it about these kids that he keeps going on about in this mansion up in the mountains where I guess all these big film directors went and they filmed secret movies and a lot of abuse happened up there. Rock Lover keeps talking about it, but I just can't remember the
He's not
Colorado.
talking.
I
No,
don't.
he might be talking about
Some kind of cult.
This guy threw up on my book.
Some
That
kind of.
I had about it. It was in California.
Yeah.
Just where the hippie movement and stuff. They had an Air
Yeah.
Force
Yeah.
base.
Yep.
A lot of people think they filmed the moon landings there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
Oh,
place. Yeah.
I cannot think of the name of it. Right.
I can't either. I can't either. Right on the tip of my tongue. I've heard it so much.
I know.
New Mexico?
God, that's gonna drive me crazy. It's in California, Johnny. The
Yeah.
place where the hippies, the Mansons lived up there. Jack
Yep.
Nicholson lives up there. Marlon Brando.
Yep.
Uh, Golly, they made a movie about that place. Laurel Canyon.
Laurel Canyon. That's it. That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yeah.
And think about that name, Brian, Laurel.
Yeah.
Like the laurel leaves that you see around the flat Earth, or
Yep.
the NWO map or whatever.
Yep. Round Mark Sargent logo. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Laurel Canyon. I think I really feel that way. The guy that wound up dying that wrote books about the serial killer agenda, about them all being assassins or former military, or a lot of them, connected to the military. He did the book about the hippies, but he was about to write a book about the moon landings being faked, and Kubrick and all that before he died. So he had finally come full circle, about the moon landings and stuff. And he, of course, that was way before Flat Earth got big, but he was doing podcasts with the woman that was that did the fake moon landing video with that guy that was a 7-day Adventist. What's her name?
I was like, I think it's white.
I can't. I heard she's actually done videos or podcasts with Patty and David Weiss and them before.
Oh, okay.
I cannot think of her name though. But she was the one that was actually speaking a lot, doing the narration in that video. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
Oh yeah, okay. That was good.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to wonder too, John. I don't trust the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I know it's a false gospel. Why are they coming out with so many little tidbits of truth? Like they're giving themselves a whole lot of credibility. This Walter Veith character, if you didn't know he was Seventh-day Adventist, you wouldn't know. So you're being indoctrinated by a religion that you don't even know, right?
Yeah.
And they don't tell you. They don't tell you until you get into it.
It's a secret society.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't tell you, like, there's a lot of prophecy events that they'll have at like civic centers and stuff.
Yeah.
And you go out there and you don't find out till you get out there is Seventh-day Adventist.
Right. Right.
You don't find that out. See, I've got a few books here. There was one I ordered about the sun god worship and stuff. I had seen it advertised a lot, and it's But anyway, what is the name? Too much time in the sun, or too. It's like one of their classic books. And,
Okay.
I got it right here. Let's see. Too long in the sun's the name of it. It's kind of like the two Babylons, but with exception that they always push the mark of the beast is the day of worship on Sunday.
Right.
They always push it. Everything wraps around that.
Yep.
That their whole thing is wrapped around. That's just like that kind of thing right there is what I see in the flat Earth.
Yeah.
That's why it feels so culty. Everything is wrapped around this one subject.
Yeah.
And you can't, you know what I mean? It's all, whenever you harp on one subject, it becomes very cultish.
Yeah. Monotonous,
You know what I mean?
cultish. Yeah. Yeah.
Agenda.
It's like they're
agenda
stuck
based.
on a hamster wheel and they're not allowed to investigate anything any farther than that.
It's an agenda based thing. Like, oh, you can remember like the one fucking Plasma Joe guy. He came on. He's like, oh, it's Jews. You gotta talk about the Jews.
You got to.
If you can't talk about the Jews, just Jews.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, it's not even flat. There's mountains.
There's actually people out there, Johnny, who are going around saying, who came out with some big shill came out with a challenge that if you're a real truther, you'll talk bad about the Jews, and if you don't, then you're not a real truther. And that's your test. That's your test to get into the truth movement now.
Well, there's a litmus test. Yeah. Yep.
It's like, I understand the Jews ain't very good people, but I like to move on, right?
All right. So I'm gonna get striked. You better record this if you want to ever hear this show again, dude. Because if you play this, it's probably gonna be done for. I'm gonna be done for.
I don't like to record, but I'll do it.
Well, if you don't record our show, then like this, I'm gonna get. I don't even want to say it. Fuck them, dude. I should be able to do what the fuck I want, man.
He's so worried, John. I don't know if he told you, John, but IPS struck me down the other day.
We had a great show, man.
Yeah, we were doing a review on this movie, and I only played a few seconds of each clip of the movie that I wanted to as we discussed it, like a regular fair use, you would think. You know, I wasn't breaking no rules. It was fair use. It was criticism. But no, IPS falsely struck me. He pretended to be Daniel Clark, the creator of this documentary. He actually fraudulently did it and then went around admitting it. But then it's funny because he comes out with a video last night saying that the paperwork's filed. He's taken YouTube and Google to court. He's suing them because they're false copyright and striking them. And I'm like, well, ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Right?
Yeah.
Like, how dare you, after just striking me down.
That's the way they think, man. But hey, that Robert Kraft, by the way, Johnny, he's a Jew. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why like the joke is like the Irish guy kissing the Jew, or Tom Brady kissed. Is that you that told me that?
I didn't tell you. I didn't talk to you about it, but
somebody told me that.
What?
Tom Brady, because I was like, how did Tom Brady kiss Robert Kraft in the mouth? And someone said, yeah, that's the joke. The Irish guy kissing the Jew or something. I can't remember the joke, man. Whatever.
There we go. I'm recording now, So this is where it starts off, John. Mark Sargent's in Patty's kitchen on Whitby Island.
His mom, Mark Sargent's mom's name is Patty.
Oh, man.
Here we go, dude.
Oh, man.
It's his mom.
They got him titled Mark Sargent, King of the Flat Earthers. King.
Are you kidding?
No, man. Look at this.
They stole it from me, I think.
Look at that. Right there, buddy. Mark Sargent, king of the flat earthers.
That's what it says. Holy shit!
All hail
Oh
Mark
my
Stark. All
Oh,
hail Dork.
motherfucker! Mark, we're going to war, dude. I'm gonna wrestle your ass.
Oh my god, they're so lame, man.
King of the flat earthers.
No wonder everybody went on there.
There's Patty Sargent. There you go.
Patty Sargent.
Kind of sounds nice, doesn't it? I smell a wedding.
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm gonna have
So
a
is
heart
that
attack.
why he's so in love with Patty?
That's what I was waiting for. There you go. There might be two Patty Sargents in the near future, you think?
It's too much.
But my Patty has something that my Patty don't have.
I wonder which Patty he's in love with.
She's got the whole package.
Oh my
Comes with their own medical benefits, urine therapy, and everything.
Oh, you guys are gonna make me die over here, dude. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. All right, calm down, Johnny. All right, live with Tim Pratt's cousin.
What the hell, man?
He's drinking pee. He's drinking pee.
That's what it
She's got
looks
the
like. It's like
Seattle-
really dark, though. It's like super
She's got the
concentrated.
Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah.
They're on Wembley Island, dude.
Mark playing with his balls again.
What is he in his room or something?
Now, see, his hat's got the laurel leaf on it too, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get a good look at it, you'll get a good look at it. And the back of it says Canada, so I don't know. And then he's got all these psychological drawings on the wall here, look. I thought they were interesting. Those things that psychologists use.
Who does that, man? All
Like
this
that,
flat
look.
Earth stuff hanging up in your house.
Yeah. Flat Earth coffee table.
Like
Flat
you
Earth
really want to get up every morning to that. You know? I mean,
He's the Flat Earth king, though. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
If he don't do it, who will?
Wait. What the fuck,
that?
dude?
What is that in his desk? Is that like a table that had the?
That's what I was looking at. What the fuck is that, dude?
Like it had square ice thing going around.
Yeah. It's the Flat Earth plane encased in ice. As soon as he's done here.
Where is Dan at? Is he in his basement or garage?
Probably holding the camera.
Is he at the payment? I mean...
Dan's there. He's there.
And cameraman, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, it goes
Is that
into the
Truman Story?
show. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Then it shows Mark walking out in the field. But there's part out this so it gets funny though. Let's see. Turn the volume up.
Oh man, when you see math cartoons, you're
There's
gonna die.
a regular guy from Seattle named Mark Sargent that does podcast on YouTube that's quite popular.
Just a regular guy.
100,000 subscribers.
Wow.
That's the Felix guy I was talking about. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, that's Nathan Thompson, yeah.
Felix experiment guy. Mike, I looked at that for a few minutes. I'm like, what the hell does this prove?
This guy actually harassed Tiffany for a while. Actually chased her down on social media, telling her she was a sinner and going to hell because she eats meat. Crazy.
What the?
Yeah, Brian has a personal relationship with Nathan Thompson. That's not your
Nathan
homeboy, man?
Thompson. Nathan Thompson's the guy that was in the pictures with Francis Ford Coppola's family.
Capella?
Coppola's.
Capella.
Okay.
The
Coppola?
Coppolas. Nathan
Capella. I say
Thompson was in the
Capella.
picture. Nicolas Cage was in those pictures, I think. Or maybe it was Charlie Sheen. It was Charlie Sheen, I think, in those
Holy
pictures.
shit. See, now, this is where I knew we were going, B.
Had Nathan Thompson. I mean, I got the picture somewhere. I had to find them, but yeah,
This
you
is
got
what
Nathan
we're
Thompson
fucking
and the
getting to, man.
and the
Sorry,
Coppa-
John.
they're Patty and Jaren's are all friends with the Coppolas.
Okay.
So,
Same with
Nathan,
Nathan
yeah, like,
Thompson.
exactly. Probably in New Orleans with Tim Steer and Jonathan Weiss in the motherfucking
They're
haunted
all
house.
big buddies.
Another thing they got in the documentary is their new Flat Earth dating app. It's called Flat Earth Match, Flat Earth Dating and Community Network. So if you need a date, just go here, right?
Yeah.
So they can keep tabs on you. They get your name and your number and your address and what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
I call it the Docs box.
What the hell? He's got a ball.
Flat Earth.
Paddle ball.
Oh, yeah. All right,
That's
that
actually
picture
pretty
right
cool,
there was
really.
made by IPS right there. So he's advertising for IPS, Infinite Plain Society. Says it right there. I remember when that was going around.
What is? Oh,
Because, see, when I first got involved in this, John, when I first found out about Flat Earth, I was excited. And I got involved with all these Facebook groups and these people on Facebook and Twitter and all these places. And I started to see the pattern, right? I started to see who IPS really was. It's crazy. That's why Nathan bothered my wife for so long, because we were part
Yeah.
of the groups, right? We were trying to help
Yeah.
out. It just went real sour.
I guess I'm glad I didn't get involved in those groups. I did on
Yeah.
Twitter,
Yeah,
and
be
I
glad.
got banned. I got banned by meteorologists, popular meteorologists in this area, for just doing something like photo or painting with like the, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow.
So that proves they're all part of the team. I mean,
Yeah.
why would they ban me? And
Yeah.
we were having good conversations about stuff, and all of a sudden I threw that in there, and that was it. I was done.
How dare you ask that question? What?
That's why I can't do Facebook or Twitter or any of that mainstream fucking social shit. I don't know. Hopefully they don't ruin YouTube, man. Like, I guess they're gonna get rid of us eventually. I have somehow. I don't know.
Swat. Reckon he really wears or has that tag on the back of his car. Well, hell, actually, he probably doesn't if he's carrying it in his house.
What is this coffee table like flat? He's got so much shit, dude.
Okay, so
How does he have all this shit?
I see something else here, Johnny. I see. Okay, the Bible says that God sits on his throne and his feet rest upon the circle of the earth. So what does Mark do when he sits back on his couch? He puts his feet up on the coffee table, right? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Just another spit in the face, you know.
You're right,
He's
dude.
the king, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Freemason mentality right there.
Yeah.
We rule this world.
That's right.
We are the holders, the gatekeepers.
Well, at the end of the day,
You know what's
put your feet up on the coffee table of earth?
You know what you're gonna love even more is when they show fucking Math Powerland as a cartoon as the king of Flat Earth in his throne, but they show him as a cartoon and they make fun of him. This is weird. This is even deeper than we thought, B.
Yeah, it's deep, buddy.
They've always been out to get Math Powerland, though, man, because he's the first guy in.
He believes the world is flat. Is that the subject that you covered with him? Are you aware of that? I was broke.
Oh, this is the Chris Pratt. Are you gonna go to the Chris Pratt part?
Earth is flat. I do not think the world is flat. I'm just saying there's some stuff about it.
How do people actually believe the Earth is flat? I'm stumped, Kelly. I don't know how people believe that.
Round Earth or flat Earth?
Yeah.
Round Earth. You just drew a divide between us.
What is happening? Actually, no. Shaq goes the other way. Not debatable. It's flat. Kyrie, flat. Draymond, flat.
There it is.
What is going on?
Wow.
You drew a divide between us.
What is happening?
Just drew a divide between us.
What is happening?
Just had to throw Chris Pratt in there, didn't they?
They did. Yeah. I mean,
Gotta keep it in the family.
I mean, of all the people they could have chose,
Yep.
he's just a regular guy. He's just a regular guy.
Just like Dan.
Yeah.
Dan's a regular guy too.
Works on stuff. And,
Yeah, he got his tools
take
from Harbor.
showers.
Yeah, he got his tools from Harbor Freight.
Yeah, on a tax deduction.
Oh, I reckon Chris will be, well, he needs to get emotional, but
Oh, there's the Life of Brian part where they're like holding the shoes and shit. Like hold one shoe and like they're making. He's mocking flat Earth by saying like, this is like when they did Life of Brian. That's my favorite part when they're telling people to hold a shoe and run, and that's the new fucking religion.
Yeah. No, this gourd is the new religion. Follow me. No, it's infinite. It's infinite. It goes on. No, it's enclosed. It's in a dome, right? No, follow me. It's a simulation, right?
Yeah, no, mud flood. It's all mudded. I got a new term. Mud tar. It's all fucking. You're made of tar.
There's no forest.
There's no forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Jump on that. That's money in that shit, dude.
Oh, there's a cartoon of him. Okay.
Yeah, it's like he made the show as a car.
So he did the show like that.
Oh,
no, they didn't put it in there, but he did it, right? Man.
No, he's pissed. He's acting like he's pissed. You see the lightning bolts on his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the lightning bolt splashed across his vest.
I cannot believe they didn't bring up Eric Dubay at all.
Not one bit.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's just selling Eric Dubay all the way around, you know? Like, Eric wasn't a part of this. He really is legit, you know?
Yeah,
he really is right about Hitler. He really is right about Hitler being a great guy, you know? I mean, let's subscribe, man. I mean, I can't remember his name, so let's subscribe.
Yeah. Funny thing is, though,
give him,
Matthew Powerland told them all off. Matthew Powerland told them off and refused to be in the movie. And supposedly Mark put this in the movie without his permission. So that's the backstory of it all.
Well, Mark always did have a thing for math. You remember Mark was always pushing math at the beginning.
Yeah,
saying that Eric, you know, was well, not really saying he was a shield, but him and Eric had their riff going, so he would push math to be the top guy, the first guy in, or all that, you know, that introduced this, you know, was the first guy to bring up flat Earth on YouTube anyway.
That's true, yeah. I made that video where Mark is saying that specifically. He credits Math Powerland for introducing him to flat Earth. So, yeah, correct, man. And now he's turning the tables. He's proclaiming himself king. See that?
Yeah.
That's where it starts to feel salty again. Because if you remember when Flat Earth first came out, John, Mark Sargent denied being part of the Flat Earth Society because we all knew back then it was a cult, right? We still know. And we would have not listened to him if he had have admitted he was with the Flat Earth Society. But now in this film, he comes right out clean. He's a member, has been a member for a long time, right? So
Yeah.
you look
He
into the
showed his
Flat Earth
card before.
Society, it's totally culty, man. It's over in Newfoundland. It's in a place called Fogo. They actually dress up there once a year in a penguin suit, and they go to the shore, and they worship this thing called the Great Auk, which is an extinct penguin, and it's supposedly on the underside of the flat Earth, right? And these are the same people that bring us gravity is a disk. It's because the flat Earth disk is floating up in space. That's why there's gravity. They're the same people that bring us that, right? But if we had known that back in the day, would we have listened?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think we
no,
would
we
have
wouldn't have.
as
We
open.
would not have.
But no
We
secret
would
now.
not have listened.
Yep.
Newfoundland. How many people have you come across that have been from Newfoundland too? I mean, a bunch.
Those are my whole family's from there. My whole family.
No, I'm saying as far as flat earthers though.
Yeah,
I mean, I've come across quite a few.
I haven't really.
There's operations all over. I mean, at least that's what they've said. You know what I mean? I don't, in comments and things like that.
Yeah.
Which
it's big in Newfoundland.
Probably.
They call Fogo Island
bots.
Sorry, I was
going to
say
most of it's probably bots.
Yeah, true. You're right. But they call Fogo Island one of the four corners of the earth.
I got I got on a new channel and I was like, oh, the dude's got 89,000 fucking subscribers. This has to be real. Like, what the fuck? 89,000 subs? Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
People have to subscribe too, man. They have to. They can't just go on there and watch a video. They have to subscribe.
There's only like 2,000 flat earthers, dude. There's not that many.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
There's not 89,000 fucking flat earthers. They do a live show and there's like 100 people watching.
And you got a point, because I can only examine my own behaviors when it comes to subscribing and unsubscribing. And from what I can tell from my own behaviors, when I subscribe to somebody, if I don't like them, I hardly ever unsubscribe. I move on and I forget about them. And eventually their videos just disappear from my feed. I don't go out and unsubscribe to all these people. I think only trolls do that. It's a weird behavior because I don't have the time for that. I don't like you, unsubscribe. I don't know who these people are that. I don't know, John. It just don't make no sense.
Another thing it doesn't make any sense is how many times have you looked up something on YouTube and you come across a subject, or subject you want to look up. You look up somebody and you watch a video or two and you don't subscribe. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've looked up something. Can even be music or something about a movie or something. And I don't, and I get that information and I'm not being disrespectful to the person. I may like it.
Yeah.
But I just don't think to subscribe.
Right.
And until I go back and look at another video, I may not ever subscribe to them. I may not ever, you know what I mean? I just don't automatically subscribe. Yeah. And maybe there's people out there that are different from me. I'm sure there are. But you see what I'm saying? I just don't know that everybody
There's
subscribes.
Not 89,000 followers of D Marble. It was D Marble. It was D Marble. Okay, it was D fucking Marble. I went on D Marble and I was like, dude has 89,000 subs. Like, he came into Flat Earth like 2018 or something. How the fuck do you have 89,000 subs, dude?
That's funny. YouTube just did a damage control show on that the other day. Oh, we don't support that kind of behavior on our platform. Everybody we give them buttons to has earned their subscribers. They're real people. YouTube support that. And it's like, whatever.
There's just 89,000 fanboys out there like, woo, 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 D Marble. Woo, woo, woo,
D Marble.
Yeah.
I can't remember their names.
That's a small army.
If I don't subscribe to Eric DeBay, I'll never remember it again. I mean, these are great.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot.
Get the fuck out of here.
I cannot remember Mark Sargent's name. What was that guy's name? It was a flat earther. He has the flat earth clues. I'm gonna have to subscribe to him because I'll never think of it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers, John, like when this shit started, it was like Eric Dubay and Math Powerland, and then all of a sudden, Mark Sargent has like 12 videos come out in one day. And they're like 12 clues of the flat earth. Like it's all like professionally done and shit.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of
Oh,
here.
man.
And like Eric and Math were like homies and shit in the beginning. Like, cause I witnessed the whole thing. I literally witnessed it from the fucking start. And I'm glad you're pissing on them, dude, because that's what they deserve, man. This was stolen from Cumby, you know, like you piss on them. Fuck them, man.
It stopped, man. With the what was it, the 11th clue or something? And his whole script stopped.
Yeah.
And once he got through that last clue, that was all he had.
That's when he abducted Tiger Dan, man.
Yeah.
They're torturing him. They're torturing him in Patty's basement.
And he started on his clue.
Tiger Dan told us if he flip flops back to the ball earth, it's because
yes,
and tortured him.
Listen, this was planned. Me and B figured this out the other day, John. So they planned out like this whole destruction of the flat earth. Like, so there was a turn where they all flip flop. That's why all of our favorite people are flip floppers, and they're all ballers again. You know, like how could you go back? Like, there's no taking the red pill, or there's no flat earth awakening, and then going back to the ball. You know what I mean? Like, but they knew, but those people knew what the operation was. The operation was fucking make it look retarded as fuck, and then like tell everyone they did an experiment, and then they figured out it was a ball.
Ha 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 ha! We got y'all.
Yep.
That's the psyop, man.
Fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
Bob Nodal proved it, guys. Okay. Earth is spinning, all right. 15 degrees an hour, okay?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember
Matthew Powerland supposedly, listen to this. Matthew Powerland supposedly said, when asked to appear in the film, Matt stipulated that he received $5,000, 12% of the profits, creative control, and a guarantee that he be featured in 25 to 50% of the film, and that we support his unverified claim that Mark Sargent is secretly a Warner's Brother executive using an alias. We were unable to meet his demands.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then they go on for a half hour and berate Matthew Powerland. It's funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which makes him look more legit, right?
It does, doesn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then he's got this thing going to Eric, so Eric wasn't even a part of it all. He get drug into it because he's fighting the battle. You know, he's never been a part of the mainstream shields. You know what I mean? So it makes him look more real than Math in some ways. But you know what I mean? It's just, you know.
It helps both sides, you know, it does. It helps both sides.
Yeah, it does.
People will see how unrealistic the documentary is, how foolish it is, and they'll say, oh, Eric had nothing to do with it. So I'm going to watch him because he had nothing to do with your sellout video, you know, like it does. It makes him look more legit, and it makes Math look more legit. Because they made Flat Earth look completely retarded.
Yeah.
This whole thing, okay, this whole video, John, they could have found anybody to say something positive about Flat Earth. What has it done for your life? Okay, maybe it opened your mind a little bit to this, or maybe it did something. They picked Jason, okay? Now, not a bad guy. I'm not saying anything about him being a bad guy. But they picked Jason from Awake Souls and Event Skeptic. And what he had to say was, I left my wife, I left all my friends. Yeah, I basically don't talk to anybody unless they're researching truth. So there you go. There's the cult aspect thrown in there again.
Hmm.
Out of all the people
Yeah,
that you have found to say something
yeah,
positive, what it has done for your life,
yeah.
you know, I don't know. They just chose that.
That was bad. It's bad, and it's. I don't know if you know what he's talking about, John, but like the one fucking guy, like he puts him in there, and he's like, "I left my wife, flat Earth. I want to kill myself. I
Mm.
basically want to die right now. I'm flat Earth."
Oh man,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
yeah. I know that feeling, man. I know that. It's because, yeah.
They threw
You know what I mean?
Star gods in there.
Wow.
They got Jaren in there. I'm looking for the Jason clip just to show you.
Whatever happened to Lori Furry
I
and
think it's kind of vanished.
Lawrence and Lawrence?
Kind of just vanished, man. Kind of.
they had some
Because remember,
theories in the beginning.
they had a
Remember?
competing thing going on with that energy guy too. Remember the Moore guy was kind of splitting time between that show and the
Yeah,
Jaren show.
Yeah.
yeah.
And other shows.
I used to tell Johnny that I thought 2B was Lauren. That's who I used to think 2B was, Johnny. Was I think that's who that was.
Probably.
Using some kind of voice modification like I do, right? It's not hard. I mean, we called her out on it too. You sound like a chipmunk there, 2B. What's up with that? Like
Hmm.
that was
You remember
probably her.
it was really about 2016 when everything, I thought everything was falling apart. I thought it would. I was kind of worried about that when they, Lori Frey and them started. No, it was Tiger Dan that started debating. He said he'd been to Antarctica and it wasn't what, he started doing all that stuff. And Lori Frey and them was like saying that the maps were wrong and these people were all lying.
Yeah.
And the shit hit the fan after that. Of course, Jared and them's got to come up with their own maps. And then, of course, you had the heart-shaped maps that come
Yep.
out and all.
Yep.
It's,
I remember all
oh
that.
man.
Remember all that. Matthew Powerland hollering from the desert, painting the floor, desert mop, hollering, chill, chill,
Hmm.
chill. I remember.
Hmm. And then you have somebody that pretty much disappears and comes back, and he's not a flat earther anymore, and gonna fight against these people. And
Yeah.
That's the weirdest shit.
anyway,
How are you not a flat earther? I mean, like, I'm not a flat earther. Like, I don't associate. I don't put label. I don't like labels. But like,
Mm.
once you awaken to this truth, how do you flip flop? I don't get like.
yeah, especially if you've been fighting for it, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I didn't. But I don't understand. Like Tiger Dan going to Antarctica and stuff. Like he really went around Antarctica, the whole area, and saw everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I forget what he said. Through that, but then it was so weird how all of a sudden he's doing this thing to try to disprove these like Eric Dubay did to prove the flat Earth. He was doing these things to disprove the flat Earth, and then just all of a sudden that's it.
And I go back to his latest video and I check the comments from time to time and he still isn't answering. There's still people asking him where is he. There's still people telling him off for being a
Yeah,
sellout, right? Here's what
yeah.
Jason had to say. Listen to Jason here for a sec.
Anybody else
Right.
other than people that are.
Let's see.
I have 4 children. My sons are grown. Them and their mother, who's my ex-wife, kind of think Dad's a little gone off the rocker.
I just finalized a divorce. I no longer speak to my parents, my brother, or anybody else other than people that are interested in doing truth research.
Worst case.
And then they put a psychologist on right after these two. If you notice the games, they got the dark music, they got the dark T-shirts. The guy standing in the darkness with a drink, right, talking about how his wife and kids think he's a loony, right? And then they got a
Right.
psychologist on right after that to mess with your head, John.
Yeah.
Because you just completely push this individual at the fringe of society, and then society just lost them.
Yeah, so you're in a cult. If you're a flat earther, you're in a cult because you pushed yourself to the fringe of society, and now society hates you.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's I hate to say it, but it's a lot of truth.
yeah, yeah.
You
But
know
I
what I
still
mean?
don't believe in the ball.
I don't believe in the ball, man. I can't.
That's it.
It's
Where does that
crazy.
leave
It's
me,
so
right?
crazy, dude.
I was thinking about Paul
Yeah.
Michael Bales. Paul Michael Bales is like the first flat earther, and his name's got a ball in it, like you said,
Or is he? Or was it Math or was it Eric? Because Eric was
Bale.
writing books way before all that, right? Or
Bale,
thinking about writing books before all that.
Christian Bale, Kristen Bell, Kristen Bale, and there's another Bell story.
Oh yeah. There's lots
Uh,
of bells. There's even bells in cartoons,
yeah.
the Disney cartoons and stuff.
ACDC, like the fucking bell. Hell's
Hell's bells.
bells.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, man.
Yeah. These bells are like pear shaped.
Like pair, like
And the reason I bring that up is because you got the competing ball, oblate, spheroid, and pear shape. Remember, Neil deGrasse Tyson went from it being a ball
to a
to
pair,
being to he said a blade. It might be like a oblate spheroid, almost like a pear or maybe a pear shape.
like a
So which
bell.
is it? Like a
It's a
bell,
bell, dude.
exactly.
It's a bell.
So you go from a ball to a bell.
Yeah. So you have Paul Michael Bales.
This is just the false god of a ball, bell, being worshipped.
Got the bell curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Michael Bales is the true flat earther.
And see, he's heading out too, man. We don't get to hear from him. He
Yeah.
wasn't on that show, was he? So,
No.
so which one is it?
So
Which one do we go with?
it's Eric Michaels.
Yeah, Eric Michaels, who happens to like that Thomas Dubay Jesuit priest.
Do you like all the laurel leaves around all these rating things, whatever they are? Look at them all. Almost every one of them
Yeah.
has laurel leaves around it.
That's so trippy, man. Like it's mockery.
Mm-hmm. And all the Laurel Canyon hippie movement and the rock and roll thing and the serial killer thing, all these things are designed to take our what minds completely away from reality. You know what I mean? And give us a substitute for reality.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's what they did, man. Right when the space age was kicking off, instead of us really thinking about it clearly, we were all fucking high and fucking listening to rock and roll music and getting, laid like crazy. You know what I mean?
Jimi Hendrix.
And worried about serial killers. You know what I mean?
Oh, Zodiac
So,
killers.
so it took us away from what they just pulled off, got us through about 20, 30 years to where nobody questioned shit.
Good
Whereas
point.
back then there was people probably was like, wait a minute now, you know what I mean? And then they passed the doobie around. And he was like, cool, man, and fuck it, let's go have an orgy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they gave everyone acid, and that was the whole
Yeah,
CIA. Like, what's his name talks about that all the time. Star
yeah.
Gods.
Oh,
So I don't know if you've seen this hand sign that's in the flat Earth now. It's been there for a while. You do this hand sign, this salute, this flat salute. I've seen it somewhere else before, and it's actually a Freemasonic hand sign it's from the Royal Arch of Freemasonry. It's a degree a lot of the Masons are in, and it's not here, that particular hand sign, but
mm-hmm.
I did have a copy of it. But that's it. It's completely controlled, man.
Dude,
All
but I'm sorry. I just want to say that these Masons did not build some of these buildings. Like, I don't give a fuck. Masons might be badass motherfuckers. You guys are badass, but you're pussy motherfuckers. Because you did not build those buildings. Like, you put tin, like, drywall and shit. Like, fuck you guys, man. You're fake fucks.
Well, I mean, the Freemasons are basically just a satanic secret society. You know what I mean? It's their religion is satanic. It goes back, way before the Freemasons were established. And it runs through Rome as well. I mean, this is they're practicing the religion of Baal worship.
Yep.
That goes back to probably pre-flood. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So,
Well, you got to think about it too, because these people out there that feel the need to chase down flat earthers to tell them that the earth isn't flat and that it's a ball, and they have all this scientific evidence, they're doing it on a simple belief in a theory that isn't true. So they believe in it enough to go out and fight for it. Right now on the social media, it is a belief. It is almost like a religion, John. It is the belief in ball. It very well could be the great deception, right? Like it says in the book of Revelation, something about the Antichrist creating an image, and then he was going to make the image move. I mean, what do? They spin the earth, right?
Yeah.
They're spinning the earth.
Yeah.
It's an image. It's an engraven image. It's what they're showing us isn't real, but we think it's real. It's messed up.
Yeah.
So we believe in something that don't even exist.
Exactly.
It's the greatest deception ever.
Involves all of us. It involves
Yeah.
all of us, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing greater than that I can see. I mean,
it goes right along with evolution and the Big Bang. Those are two other things that don't exist, right?
Well, time doesn't exist.
It's just man-made, you know?
Like there's no such thing as time. I mean, it's just the sun.
It's God's time, you know. It's
God's time. Yeah.
He gave us.
You can make time, whatever. Yeah.
He gave us the stars and all of that to tell the times and the seasons.
Yes, that's what it's for. It's not to go land on.
No.
And build a civilization. Yeah, I mean I just put in some light bulbs just a minute ago, but I don't want to go live on one of them.
It's still working though. Like we're still here. Like the sun is still moving. Like it's still going. How the fuck is all this shit working? You know, like if we're in this snow globe.
How does your house work, Johnny? How does your apartment, whatever you're living right now, with the electricity and everything
I don't
we
fucking
have?
know. I don't know, but I'm living like a king. I'm like,
I know.
like,
and you have an unbelievable. When it's hot outside, it's cool.
Why am I mad? Yeah, I'm a slave.
You know what I'm talking about? It's climate control, dude. Because they created this based on the world that we live in. You know, they.
Oh, so you're saying the air conditioning system is the same as the Earth's?
Yeah, absolutely, man. How do you think they can? How do you think they figured out how to do this? How to make it work? They observed the Earth. They observe how it works.
But what's on the other end, like of the conditioning? Like, is it the Mount Meru or like what? How does this work, man? Like this big jacuzzi, like with like air filters and shit. I mean, get the fuck out of here, man.
You're thinking physically, Johnny. You also have to think spiritually because there's a lot of things in this world we can't see, right? So you have to think.
That's true.
Well, so maybe there is like a spiritual mountain at the center. I don't know. I know the Bible talks a lot about a spiritual mountain where Lucifer or Satan brought Jesus Christ to the top of, where he could see the whole world from, right?
Absolutely. He talks about a mountain where the council, and I'm putting it in my own words, a council of beings meet, you know, that they interact or go to and fro from heaven, you know.
Yep.
And Lucifer wants to be up there at the top.
Yeah,
that's what it talks about in Isaiah.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
That's why the space station and all of these New World Order countries now, Russia and Japan and China and America and Canada, are trying to reach heaven. They're trying to reach God's throne, right? That's what they're doing with these rockets, right?
Just
The
need to
rocket.
build a building, like just a building all the
They
way
tried
up.
that. They tried that. That's the
It's
Tower of
called.
Babel.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, just put it backwards. Lebo. 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 We need a Tower of Lebo.
Labab.
Or they're trying to dig out of it with CERN. One of the two. They're trying to get out of here. Either going through the Earth or going through the firmament. One way or the other. They're
They want
trying to
out.
escape this. Brian, have you ever thought about what what their religion of Baal, or what the Baal is all about? I mean, have you ever gave any thought to that? Cause do you think that there is a reality behind the Baal worship that we don't know anything about? And I'm not saying I know that it's false as far as, but are they completely lying about a? I know they're lying about the Earth being a shape of Baal, but I'm saying, is there something that they're worshiping that they're trying to turn the Earth into? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Maybe
Are they worshiping a Baal that maybe controls our world somehow, some kind of power source or something, or maybe you understand kind of what I'm saying?
I kind of think so. Maybe if you think back to when God Himself came down to visit some men on Earth, they had to turn their backs because He was so bright. And then you think about, well, okay, so God is light, but how is that light contained? What is it contained in? Is it contained in a sphere, a pyramid, a square, a cube? I think maybe a sphere. A spirit.
Exactly.
I'm really on that
Exactly.
page
Yeah.
with that. Yeah, and it
Exactly.
probably Lucifer was cast down, as a lightning bolt, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
Exactly.
maybe Satan is lightning,
Yeah.
and maybe God is
Yeah.
fear. I don't know.
Wait.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know completely. Just
A lot of these beings on these movies, like Phantasm and Wizard of Oz and things like that, will appear to be like balls of light. You know what I mean?
spheres. Yeah. Yeah.
Spheres. Yes.
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
watched
this
a crazy.
sphere.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Do
Go
what?
ahead, John.
I was just saying I watched this crazy movie the other night on Netflix, and it was all revolved around this sphere in this museum that caused these damn beings to come to life in these paintings. It's called Velvet Buzzsaw. Had Jake Gyllenhaal in it, the guy who's
Yeah.
played all kind of gay roles and stuff. He played everything.
No,
Played this.
Gyllenhaal. Yeah, his
Yeah.
sister's hot, dude. I like his sister.
Oh yeah, she is. But
Yeah.
I guess
Everywhere.
it might be his brother. You know.
Oh, Bob, we should
You never
invite
know,
Bob. You want
man.
me to invite Bob? I'll invite Bob, dude. Bob will be on here like no time, dude.
But she's a hot whatever.
But I saw a sphere too. Like I took, there was some pictures I took, and there was a little sphere in the picture, and
Like a little orb of light.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
orb, yeah, and I feel like that maybe like what you guys are talking about is kind of connected with what I saw, and like maybe
Have
it
you
is.
ever seen? Yeah.
Well,
Have you ever seen like these pictures of these uh like a ball like craft, like old Christian or religious pictures or something like that, Brian?
yeah,
Where it's got it looks like some being it's got kind of like one of those things that scientists have on their desk that spins, that revolves. It's like I forget what you call them, like not a pendulum, but
One of them things that go tick,
uh,
tick, tick.
they got, it's a circle within a circle.
Okay. Like
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're
I
talking about.
forget
Yeah.
what you call. But yeah, I've seen pictures like where it looks like they got these paintings of these beings driving through space or through the
I've seen them.
heavens or
Yeah.
whatever.
I've seen them.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
I do.
And
They
I'm
call them
wondering, yeah,
Ezekiel's wheels. That's what they call them. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
Ezekiel
Wheels
wheels,
within
yeah,
wheels.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that may be where they're worshiping these spears or spirits for that and turning their world into that.
It's
Uh, I
as a
don't
man
know.
with
And I
six
thought,
kids, I can tell you the sphere, the ball, this world. These people are obsessed with balls, spheres, everything. Pretty much in my children's education, on their TV shows, in my video games, it revolves around a sphere, some kind of orb of light, or a sphere, or a ball, or I mean, look at the kings and queens from back in the day and today. They carry around a scepter with a ball on the top, right? They've done that for thousands of years, and they say that that ball represents the earth. I don't believe that
yeah.
because they didn't know thousands of years ago, maybe 1,000 years ago, but I don't buy it.
There's
They know,
probably
yeah.
there's probably some hidden alchemy that we don't know as slaves. Like we'll never know the truth. They know like some hidden technology that we've always had.
Yeah.
They're just laughing at us, you know.
You got to think
I
too.
know they.
The Freemasons covet the King James Bible. They have that,
Yeah.
and they know they tell everybody there's secrets in there that only they know. So it must be coded, it must be
Yeah.
somewhat, for them to
And yeah,
covet
absolutely.
it
And
like
the ball games and stuff, Brian.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's just the ball thing has been so put, and that was used to be the ball games used to be played. It was a religious thing, where people
yeah,
got sacrificed and stuff. It was like an honor of the planets or the sun and moon. Yeah.
exactly.
So
All the old ball games were revolved
yeah.
around the sun, the moon, the planets, worshiping them. This is not new. This planet worship thing that we're seeing right now. That's not new. This has been going on thousands of years with Saturn and Jupiter and Mars and all these gods, and it's everywhere, man.
Or is it possible, Brian? Is it possible? And I don't really like going here, but is it possible that it could be almost kind of like what Rob Skiba has put out? Like it's like a almost like a snow globe where it goes. You have the curved dome that goes around. It cups underneath. Is that what they're worshiping? They know about it. I hate to go there, but
I think there might be like okay, so the Bible tells us that God made the firmament out of something that resembled molten glass. Okay, He hammered it out as if molten glass. So I, I, I stand on the word of God. A lot of people don't, but I do. And that to me speaks volumes about what our firmament is made out of and why we
Pretty
can't,
awesome.
right? I think there's a
Yes.
Sheol or a hell underneath us that is also encased in some kind of molten glass firmament that
It
keeps hell.
says that. It says molten glass on there.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And
Yes,
it
does.
also, I think this ball, this sphere might be sitting half in water, half out of water, right? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The waters from the waters,
Exactly.
Snow
And
globe.
Brian, people have asked the question, what is separating this? What's separating the? Where's the boundary at? That separates that. Well, the scripture kind of tells you. I mean, it basically tells you that the firmament separates the waters above from the waters below. In other words,
Right.
there's a boundary firmament that's what separates. Ultimately, there may
Exactly.
be some ice walls in between that keeps people or should keep people from going all the way. Bad weather,
Yep.
terrible conditions that would deter you or should deter somebody that's not insane
Admiral
from
Byrd.
going that far.
Yep.
But
He
at
lost
the end
like
of the
10
day,
planes.
So the first firmament, the first heaven is where the birds fly. That's our first heaven, okay?
that's
So
the open heaven,
yeah.
right?
So it's
Okay.
all around us. And then there's the second heaven that the Bible describes, which is the firmament. And the stars sit in the firmament.
Yes.
Just think about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible does say a lot about the earth. It says a
It
heck of
does.
a lot about the earth. Right?
Yes, it does.
Molten
And then
glass.
there's a part above that would be the throne of God, correct?
Right. Exactly. And we can't see what he sees because he has a veil put before our eyes, John, that doesn't let us see the spiritual world the way he sees it. Right?
Yeah.
I've often seen old
Exactly.
paintings of spirits fighting angels, and these old paintings used to freak me right out because it makes me think of what the spirit world could actually look like. The Bible tells us that what's going on here on earth is also going on in heaven. What's going on in Israel right now is also going on in spiritual Israel in heaven. It says that Israel is Sodom and Gomorrah. It is an abomination, right? But so you think about all the wars and stuff that are going on here, they're also going on in heaven, only it's a lot worse. It's a lot more graphic. It's something to think about, right?
Yeah, and I've often thought like witches and stuff since I've learned this truth. You know, that these witches that look at these crystal balls and
Yeah.
do the gazing upon that they're pretending to be like God. And you've seen movies since then to where you might have somebody that's like the Truman Story or something that's looking down on the earth
Yeah.
or that's gazing upon or can look down in the earth and see everybody walking around or something like that, you know what I mean, or something like some of these sci-fi movies, you know what I mean, where they're looking down upon people, or some gods or like the Titans or Zeus or somebody, you know what I mean. But I think this crystal gazing or crystal balls is a mockery of God. They're pretending to be God, and they're able to somehow try to tap into the power of God by replicating the firmament and replicating, well, basically trying to replicate the firmament in the world that we live in. They're able to gaze into these things through demon spirits and see people and attack people.
Well, you got to realize they do some fake witches out there, fake or whatever. But there's also real dedicated people out there who believe in the occult, and they seek books of old books. They seek stuff, and know that magic is only temporary. God's power is forever. So that's where the crystal ball comes in, right? It's some kind of knowledge given to these people, probably subliminally through their meditations or their whatever dance they do, and are communicating with devils. The Bible tells us that people communicate with devils and demons, and that it's Saul rose Solomon from the dead through a witch, through an oracle, right? And Solomon came up from the dead and cursed Saul. So we're not allowed to mingle with that stuff because it will backfire in our face. We'll die, right? We'll die. It's evil because that's the way Satan is. He's deceptive. He wants your soul. He wants your life, right? That's what Satan wants, So
he'll use magic and trickery, stuff like voodoo dolls, to try to replicate a person that they want to attack.
Right.
And the same thing can be said through our world, that they use these crystal balls as a means.
And another thing is so I believe in God, so I'm pretty much immune to these whatever, Impy puts spells on me all the time. I don't care, right? He pokes me, my doll all the time. I don't care because it don't bother me. But the people out there that don't have God, they have no protection against this force. Right? They have nothing. So they end up going to that side, or they end up finding out the truth, right?
Yes.
It's great. The spiritual world, man. I think about that a lot.
I just, that's just something that's always really intrigued me as to why do they really focus in on the ball. It has to be that it's a source of power that they're worshiping. It's not God. It's another source of power. But it's real. It's real. It's just not. It's not the truth.
No, it's something Luciferian, right?
Right.
It's of the light, but it's not a good light, right?
No. And they want us all to worship their God, and that's where you talk about the image.
Yeah.
The image coming into play, that they've changed and created their own image of God or the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That people all are, because Scripture says that all worship the beast and his image. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's not
And,
just the beast.
and
It's
what
his
other
image.
images out there, John? What other images out there that we worship more than the ball earth? I don't know of any.
Yeah.
I don't know of any.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. Because you
Somebody
can't get everybody to worship
David
Jesus
Bowie
or
something.
yeah, you can't get everybody to do that or
No.
to worship Allah
Right.
or Jesus or
Right.
Muhammad or Buddha. You know what I mean? Not everybody
Right.
can get on the same page with that.
Right.
You know, and I dare say any other
But the
leader.
Buddha and the Hare Krishna and the Muslim and the Jew and the Christian, they all believe in the ball and Jupiter and Mars and the sun.
Exactly. Incorporates us all. That's how
Bringing
they bring us
people
all
together. Right.
But what's interesting is that Jesus is in the other books too. I want to hear more about that. Like I'm
But they
interested.
always talk about him in these other books like he was a great man that did a lot of great things,
But
which
the
is
fact
true.
that he's even in the book says a lot for me.
But
You
have to understand that it's just like what we've been talking about with these shields. They will use truth to draw you into their agenda.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They'll use Jesus, which they've always done, and I'm talking about the Jesuits and others, to shield you out, to get you on their side, to get you to follow them. Hey, they're good people, and I can trust them. And
what are they
then
Jews? The Jews think like he was real, but he wasn't like great or something.
Yeah, they think son of a
some of them.
whore, and they think he's boiling in a vat of hot excrement.
Yeah.
Right? They spit on Christians. That's all in the Talmud, right? Like all nasty shit.
And then even when I study Eastern philosophy, like Jesus shows up too.
Yeah.
They say he went there, but then they're like, no. But then you got
some Jews don't even believe in God, Johnny. I mean, some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a metaphor. You know what I mean? A lot of the, I don't know, some of the Quaker stuff and things like that. Kind of ties into just they don't believe a whole lot. They don't believe God has anything to do with the world now. That he may have created the world, but he didn't, or there was a creator, but he didn't really have anything to do with the world today.
There's too many coincidences, John, in our daily life. There's too many things to tell me, God. There's something. It can't be too like everything is like so obvious, like Truman Show all the time.
Yeah.
Literally for all of us, all three of us.
Yeah.
Definitely. I experience it a lot, right? Popcorn's great, buddy. By the way.
Yeah. I know.
Was it going to sort out the men from the boys, Brian? I think he said that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, some shit, dude.
Truman every day, buddy. It's Truman every day. Even out on the streets, sometimes it's Truman, right?
Yeah.
All the time.
You can be thinking about something, all of a sudden it'll pop up on your recommendations or on Twitter or something,
like
or on the radio.
You're fighting for your friend about something. 5 minutes later, you go to YouTube and Google's got it up there right in front of you. Right? Exactly. Like, hey, I'm thinking about buying some dog shampoo today, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's the video of which is best, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we're already chipped. Like maybe we were already chipped like a long time ago, and the whole chip thing is a joke because we already are chipped. Like, what else is the explanation?
We pretty much carry chips around every day in our cell phones, in our tablets, our laptops.
Yeah, but there's no other explanation.
Why do they got to put it in our hand or our forehead if we're going to carry it in our pocket?
Yeah, but there's some shit in life where it's just so fucking obvious. It's not a coincidence. It's like, this is so fucking crazy. I can't believe this just happened. You thought about this person.
Yeah.
And they text you or they called you.
5 minutes later, you bump into them. Yeah.
It's somebody you ain't thought about in years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or talked about in years.
And they'll just call you.
All connected or they're like, through the aether, buddy. We're all connected through the aether. Ether.
Good point, Brian. Great stuff, man. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah. And they know how to tap into this. The occult knows how to tap into this.
Yeah. That's where electricity comes from, buddy.
Yeah. That's true. Yes, absolutely.
It's all around us. Tesla knew that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What is your research, Brian, about the Quakers? Because I've come across so much stuff about the Quakers, and at first, I was certainly talking about the Jesuits and the ecumenical movement and everything, but more I've looked,
Yeah.
more I've seen the Quakers' involvement. I know you did a lot of studying on that.
Yeah. I came to the conclusion that they're all controlled by Rome or the CIA or something. Like even the Quakers, I mean, they're involved. It's the same as every other religion that I'm seeing nowadays. The Muslims, the Indians, the Quakers, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Presbyterian Church down the road, for goodness sakes. They're all getting involved in drugs and pedophilia and
Yeah.
really good people on the outside, but on the inside and behind the scenes, they're doing some real nasty stuff. And I see a lot of different religious organizations controlling YouTube, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're all promoting the same agenda as Rome. So, I mean, the Quakers, we picked that apart. They're obviously working for the CIA, most of them now. I went after the Quakers, John, and I had the head of Metatron get a hold of me to tell me to shut up about the Quakers, that they're good people. Or no, was it the Mennonites? I don't remember now, but they're all
weird. That was weird.
Wasn't it, Johnny? She was threatening me with violence. She was threatening me with lawyers. She was like, I know you love your kids, Brian, right? Like, you wouldn't want your kids to get hurt, right? You should leave these people alone. It was really strange, John.
That is strange. But they had a lot to do with the founding of this country.
Yeah,
and the agenda that goes along with that, and everything we see today.
Yep.
I mean, they're as ecumenical as there's always a group that's helping push the Jesuit agenda. Yep. There's always a group it's always it's compartmentalized. You know what I mean? Where we select this group for this operation. You know what I'm talking about? That way it takes the heat off Rome. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the same thing with the Jews. The Jews are selected to run Hollywood. That way that all the satanic pedophilia stuff and all that stuff comes out, and we point our fingers at the Jews.
Exactly. They've been doing
Meanwhile,
that
back in the
Batcave. That's an old book, right? Blame the Jew. But they're bad people. I mean, most of them are like the ones that worship Talmud. I can't disagree with these people. So
you can't deny it. That
doesn't leave me loving Hitler, right? Do you know what I mean?
No.
And do it.
Hitler was a tranny, dude. Hitler was a tranny.
I think so, man. The ecumenical agenda, John, that you look at the world stage now. That's what it is. It's a stage. And we got the New World Order banking system pretty much set up. Every country that isn't bowing down right now to this fiat currency, this new established currency that we got, is being destroyed. They're taking their oil, they're taking their gold, they're taking everything, they're robbing their museums. So we got the New World banking system, right? We got the New World military, right? We got that. We got the industrial complex, right? We got NASA. That's a world thing now. That's international. So there's a New World Order space station agency, I guess you want to call it, whatever. So they're stuck on the religions because Muslims and Christians and Jews and Buddhas and all the rest, we don't all see eye to eye on everything. Like, we all have disagreements, and we're always going to. God divided us for that reason, so that we couldn't build another Tower of Babel and try to reach the throne of God. So they're stuck. And it seems to me like they're using flat earth, or they were trying to bring this ecumenical agenda of other religions, because we got Buddhists, we got so many different ethnicities and religions within the flat earth community that they very well could start a flat earth church, and all religions are as long as you talk about flat
earth.
That's a
good point.
Right? I've heard Matthew Powerland slip up and say that flat earth is an ecumenical agenda. I mean, I've made the videos, I've proven my point. So to me, I'm convinced, right, that flat earth is completely part of some kind of Luciferian Roman Catholic ecumenical agenda. That's why I always call everybody Jesuits, man. I'm joking most of the time, but I'm really not, right?
Oh,
Because
that
they are
no,
all
man.
being controlled, buddy.
I
Right?
was listening to y'all show one night, Brian, and you said, okay, let me get this straight. I think everybody's Jesuits. Bob
Yeah.
thinks everybody's trainees.
Yeah, yeah,
And Johnny thinks everybody's shields.
yeah.
But you know,
That's what makes the world go round, man. Right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, though. I mean, you can call them shields or whatever, but at the top of the pyramid, I mean, Rome's pushing the buttons.
And
And of
it's all
course, their whole gospel goes back to the satanic sun god ball worshiping cult.
yeah.
You know, that's so they're just really just the headquarters of that religion,
So
and all these other religions are compartmentalized. You know?
exactly. Another symbol I
Yeah.
want you to think about is the symbol of the serpent. All right. So the Vatican in Rome is shaped as the head of a serpent. Okay. Now you look at all of some of these other religions, Buddhism, the Jewish religion, a lot of them have at the very base core, they or their rabbis or their priests or their mentors or their teachers, they worship the serpent. It goes
Yeah.
back thousands of years. I mean, Chinese worship the serpent. India worships the serpent. The cow. They worship millions of different things, but the serpent is prominent in all of them. That's the connection they have. And I was going to say this earlier. When Jesus in the Bible is talking about, he seems to push a lot that he is the real light. He's the light
Absolutely.
giver.
Yeah.
He is the word. He is the creator of this earth. He is the one to be really worshipped. He warned us about this, man. He warned us about
absolutely.
that the
Yes.
devil would come as a being of light and he would deceive us all, right, into worshiping his image. That's and I get tingles when I think about how true Revelations is coming true.
Oh, absolutely.
In my
And
life
the
every day.
Illuminati enlightenment. We
Yeah.
have the enlightenment, you know.
So
And everything
to
is
answer Johnny's question, when I think about other religions, Johnny, like Buddhism, I don't think bad about the people or necessarily the books that talk about Jesus. I do look into it, I check it out, and it just kind of I have to boil it down to what's their main being of worship. And most of the time it's the snake, right? And then I think, well, the Bible there again, it tells
No,
us
you're right, dude. Like they
snake's
fucking
the
like
deception,
there's
right?
there's fucking dragons on their flags and shit, man.
But there's really good stuff in their books that you will learn from. It will teach you both the occult side. See, that's where it comes down to. We're eating off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now. We can't get enough of it, right? The truth movement got hooked, and we want to research good and evil. We want to know what makes this world tick. We want to know who runs it. We want to know about the spiritual side and the physical side. So we can't.
And the flat Earth has given us great stuff, and I think that's what you're also referring to, is that the flat Earth thing has gave us a lot of great information, a lot of things to open us up. But you got that element of disinfo and the occult mixed in with it, and other agendas being pushed.
It's hermetic doctrine, Cumby. It's hermetic. It's alchemism. It's hermeticism. I mean, look at our table of elements. That's in every public school from grade primary to grade 12. The table of elements.
Chemistry, dude. That's just badass, dude.
Isn't it?
I love
It is,
dude.
though, right? And so, but you think about it. It's hermeticism. They're indoctrinating us.
It's fucking alchemy, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's eating off the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
I'm gonna take a piece of fucking shit and make it a piece of metal. Like,
yeah. Look, that's where I work, Johnny. I work at that place.
I know, motherfucker. You do that shit.
Metallurgy. I work at a metallurgy place, and the city I live in is called Magic City. And you've got
Pratt City.
You've got the You've got the Vulcan statue, the god of fire. You know, one of the great Roman gods, the Vulcan. Think about Star Trek. I can go on and on, but it's called the City of Iron, the City of Steel. You know,
damn it, dude. Damn it.
Yeah.
Alchemist, you're an alchemist, John. You're exposed.
The Magic
serious
City
thoughts here tonight, folks. Like Seriously, it's like the greatest
John's
It's
supposed.
ever, man.
He's an alchemist.
Yeah,
it's scary, dude. It's really scary
we're all
because
alchemy from
yeah,
childhood.
yes,
There's no escaping it, right? We
and I
all know
think
what helium is.
Nimrod.
We all know what carbon is. We all know what
Yeah,
oxygen is. We all know what gold and iron and tin and copper and
All this
brass,
shit.
and we all know the
hmm
gases, you know.
hmm yeah. I think Nimrod was kind of, the founder of that kind of, but probably given to him through these fallen angels. You know what I mean? That come down pre-flood, gave it to his, I guess you could say, his great grandfather or grandfather Ham.
Yeah,
Passed down to him, but he was the first alchemist, the first metallurgy guy,
yeah,
and that statue of Vulcan is based upon him. It goes back to him.
yeah. It goes way back. Yep.
Yeah.
Says Nimrod was he was Sumerian, wasn't he? Or they got their
Yeah.
that's what they were based from was Sumerian, I think.
hmm
And that was
Yeah.
Babylon, right? Babylon, I think. Nimrod was king of
hmm
Babylon. Yeah.
King
Yeah.
of Babylon sure
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was. I think he was of Samaria or maybe Nineveh or several different places. He was. He was pretty much ruled over. But basically, Babylon was the. You know.
Yeah.
His headquarters.
So we all spoke the same language back then. We all
Mhm.
everybody on earth, and it was a world empire back then, John. I mean, right from the days of Cain. When God banished Cain out, he said, "Go out and make great cities." So we've been making great cities from day one. And North America has been part of this earth from day one. It's been established and inhabited from day one, right? There's
Yeah.
no denying that. We see that written all over the place. But we all spoke one language back then, and it's been thousands of years since we've all been able to come together under this one new language of English. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
We can
Which
go to
is
space because Russians are trained to speak English and American astronauts are trained to speak Russian, but we all speak English,
we
right?
all have to. You
Yeah, the
all have to
Chinese
adapt to that
come over to
language.
Canada, they have to learn English first, right?
hmm
So
Yes.
is it the new world order? Uh,
Yeah, it's language. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
language.
definitely. I mean,
That's what
it's
we're for.
absolutely. I mean, because it's the most complex language ever. Because there's so many different words. Whereas, for one subject, there's all kind of different words
You
to
raised
to
a good point.
bring that out better. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's
And
a good
there's never
point.
been anything like that.
Okay,
Never
so
been anything.
so think about this now. There's some ancient text out there, some cuneiform, Tartarian text, okay, that were
hmm
found in Tartar over in Russia, Romania, somewhere.
hmm
Um, they can't decipher these clay tablets. They think they're cuneiform, but they can't decipher them because obviously they're not cuneiform. So, is English the most complex language we've ever had, or
Mm.
or or was it what we had back in the day that we can't figure out now because
Oh yeah.
we're so smart? Why can't we figure it out? Right? We needed the Rosie. What was it? We needed
The
that
Rosetta Stone.
Rosetta Stone, to decipher what was said in Egypt. So, do we even know that that's really what was said? Right? Like,
Right.
but we're all to that
Oh
point now
man.
where we are all speaking English almost. Yes. So
It
we're full circle.
had to be that way. It
We're
had to be
full,
that
we're full circle, right where Revelations puts us,
way.
right?
Whether it's a created language or we're going back to the original language of Babylon, it's probably more or less almost a created language. Well, it's for the system that we
Yeah,
live in the world that we live
yeah,
in. That they've created to
yeah,
to 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 get us all together,
yeah,
and it works. Everything works within the system.
yeah.
It's just all BS.
So,
Astronauts go to work every day. They
yeah,
may be, they may know that they're actors, but some of them may not. Though
they
some of
might
them
not.
may be deceived.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm. You think they're getting in simulators and really think they're going up, or do you think? I find it hard to believe, but
I think they're. I think Chris Hadfield knows damn well that he doesn't go to space. I think I think the sad looks on Buzz Aldrin and all them guys' faces that day when they were talking about the stars and space and what it was like to go there, their sad looks said it all to me. They didn't
oh
go,
yeah,
and they were being forced to go up there and lie about it. And you look at
hmm
what's the guy's name today that's running around? The old fella Buzz, the old drunk
hmm
with all the Masonic
hmm
rings on his
he
finger.
has to stay drunk. He has
Yeah,
to stay fucked up because he can't deal with his fucked up life.
right. He can't deal with the lies past.
Yeah.
Right. Neil
Yes.
Armstrong said it the best. As you dig through the protective layers of truth. Okay,
hmm
so what the hell are the protective layers of truth, John? Right? Who would that be? Okay, you got to think about
Yeah.
those things, right? Metaphorically, who's he
Yes.
talking about? I think he's talking about Rome. That's the
Yes.
layer of truth you got to dig through because they got so much disinfo out there
Yes.
that we're up to our eyeballs in disinformation, right?
Do you think they knew initially that what they were going to do, or do you think that they were that once they got on board with it, there was no going back, and then they realized that it was a lie?
Well, I once heard a saying that all these people have is time, and that's
hmm
why they pass it on through their families. That's why they have
Yeah.
to keep their estates going. That's why they have to rip
Yeah.
everybody off to stay wealthy. That's
Yeah.
why the Vatican has to put the Jews in control of their bank because
Yeah.
because they're all in. They have to keep it that way. It's been
Yeah.
thousands of years. These elites, these enlightened ones, have been dictating over us. Thousands.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they know it's been a long drawn
Yeah.
out plan, right?
Yeah.
Long drawn out.
Well, I'm saying like Buzz Aldrin. Now, do you think they knew? Because I know Buzz Aldrin, wasn't it his mother that committed suicide
It's
right
like
before this happened, or right after this happened?
it's like you said,
And
it's
she was a
compartmentalized.
big Christian lady. Yeah,
Yeah,
or maybe she was killed. Maybe Buzz slipped up and told her, and then they had to kill her. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Maybe he had a guilty conscience and told her,
yeah,
and or whatever, and they killed
maybe.
her. Or maybe she killed herself. Because she couldn't deal with what her son was doing.
Fact is I know a lot of shady stuff has happened within the space agency and the astronauts, the personnel that work there, all of NASA. We know
hmm
there's been multiple deaths, multiple accidents, things we can't explain, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, I mean, yeah, she knew something, and
Yeah.
he stays perpetually drunk because he knows something, and he's
Yeah.
handled 24 hours a day. I look at Jackie Kennedy as an example of being handled, right? There's
hmm
a perfect example of someone being handled. You haven't seen
Yeah.
or heard from her, but the things that she does say is completely controlled, right? Buzz
Yes.
is the same way. Look at Buzz Aldrin's little speech there he did in some kind of auditorium. He was up on some kind of boxing stage where he was loaded drunk, staggering around on stage, talking
hmm
some kind of gibberish about space, right?
Yeah.
That explains
Yeah.
it all, right? Like he's controlled. He had a breakdown. He got drunk and had a
Yeah.
breakdown. I've had many of them, John. I got drunk and I spilled the beans, buddy.
hmm
Right? Because I'm
Yeah.
so caught up in my sins. I'm like, man, I got to confess this to somebody. I get drunk, and the first poor person that comes along gets an earful of Brian's past. Right?
hmm Yes.
So,
I understand. Well, I mean, like Buzz is always tweeting out stuff all the time that's just silly. Like he tweeted out something with him in a scuba diving outfit in a water tank, and I forget what he said. But I was like, "Is he confessing here?" And I'm thinking he's just up late at night. He's doing
quick,
this
quick,
all the time, drunk. He's
quick,
messed up, and he's just tweeting out shit.
quick.
You
The
know?
handlers are saying, go grab Buzz, smack him over the head with a hammer. He got his fingers on the phone. No kidding, man. That's what I really think's
I mean,
happening.
no other celebrities or scientists are going to do that, man. But he's drunk or on pills or something.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
just
same thing. Yeah.
running off at the mouth.
Yep.
So or both.
Yep.
I mean, so
I know what it's like to be drunk and have things that on your
yeah,
chest.
absolutely.
No. Probably tweeted a few things in my day drunk,
Yeah, yes,
Put on the
yes,
street corner
absolutely, man.
before Twitter.
Yes. It is. Oh man, it's that's crazy, man. I just this whole thing, man.
Johnny's
I
sleeping.
know they don't understand. I know they don't understand why. Oh, I hear him now.
Yeah. Good guy, man. Let me see.
He went out, man.
He did too.
Hang on,
Let's
my
see.
headphones are dying. Let me cut. Let me see if I can cut these headphones off because they're about to die. And see if I can't. I don't know how to do that. I guess I can just like out of here. Hang
I muted him.
on. Let's see here. Hello.
Yeah, I muted him out. So
Okay. We're on speaker. I'm gonna charge these headphones back up.
yeah.
But
Well, we can call it a night, man. I mean, it's been good. It's been a few hours, I think.
that's fine. We can do
Yeah.
that. I've enjoyed the conversation, man, a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You opened my eyes, man. You opened my eyes with a few different things, right?
Yeah, me too. But I get kind of, I don't do the live thing too much, so I kind of
Yeah.
get a little bit nervous. Johnny's always trying to talk me into it, so I'm like, I'm always but he finally tonight he kept on and kept on. He was adamant about it. So,
Yeah.
but I guess we need to do this more often and start working on the YouTube thing too.
Yeah. When you can find a couple people you trust that,
Yeah.
and we're not going to let anybody in the little circle, like
Yeah.
you can't because they just come in and sabotage everything.
Yeah.
But I'm the same way. I cut right back on my lives. I barely go live anymore because of what I've been through. I understand now why.
Well, me, it's not really even that. It's just I'm just not used to being live, and so
Yeah.
I'm used to making videos,
Yeah.
because when you get when the microphone's on, it gets kind of hot,
It does. It does.
And I'm not a natural radio guy either, like
a lot of hangouts you don't know what's going to happen next either, right?
Yeah.
I used to go on with popcorn all the time, and I never knew from time who he was going to have on next or what was going to come up, and then things started happening, right? So yeah, the pressure's on.
It's just kind of different. It's something I'm gonna have to ease into. You know what I mean? Just really, but I've enjoyed the conversation. I really have. And like I said, I want to start working on these YouTube guys and
oh man,
Poodoo Pie or Poodoo Die, whatever.
Yeah, Johnny mentioned that to me last night, eh? So I mentioned it to my wife, and she's like, "What? Why do you guys want to do that?" And so I do my research. Me and Johnny explain to her what we're talking about, and I go out and do my research, and she goes out and does hers. She comes back to me this morning with a whole history on PewDiePie. I go do my research, right? I got all this information on PewDiePie. It's like, man, oh man, wow, there's a lot out there on them. And I think just to put it all in a nutshell for you, I think for me, I focus more on the universities that they went to. Are they royal universities, or are they Roman Catholic universities, or are they privately funded Rockefeller universities?
Yes.
Right. So that's where I make the connection. Matthew Powerland, for example, went to St. Francis. Do I think everybody from St. Francis is a Jesuit shill? No. My cousin went there. She came out just fine. But I think some men and women are hand groomed, specially picked for an agenda, and they're sent out after they get their education funded by the church or the whoever, and they're sent out with a message. And it goes back to the Rosicrucian saying of there's a story out there where this fella who was in the Rosicrucians, he was a new initiate. The Rosicrucian elites gave him the information of where they get their light source, their light that they talk about, this Luciferian light. And they give this guy the information of, okay, here's our secret. It's a jack-o'-lantern. And they tell this initiate to go out into the world and preach that the Rosicrucian light is a jack-o'-lantern. And this is fact. This guy went out and he actually did this. And he went out and he preached this false gospel in the name of the Rosicrucians because it was a test to see if he was loyal enough to preach any message that they wanted him to push.
Makes sense.
So I look at the same thing with the universities. Are they Jesuit or are they royal?
Yes.
Regardless, they all answer to Rome because the
They all
crown
answer.
has a fleur-de-lis on the top of the crown,
Yes.
not the queen's head, right? It's got the
That's
the
right.
Catholic fleur-de-lis right on the top of their crowns.
Yes.
So PewDiePie goes to a Masonic Jewish university, or went
Yes.
to. It's got the satanic star and the compass right in the logo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting anyways, what I got into.
Yeah, and you know, once again, we got a guy that is definitely an actor. You know what I'm talking about? With all these subscribers,
100%.
all these videos set up by, I mean, you know, obviously set up by YouTube. You know, he does the same thing that Mark claims he did, you know, originally, and that's doing like, you know,
Video
graphic
game.
design, video gaming.
Yeah.
Video
Yep.
stuff.
And he didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yep. And so he sold it.
He didn't. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they set them up, man. They set them up from day when they get out of college and they go to work for YouTube or Hollywood. You know.
Yeah. I mean, what would you go to okay, how much do you? Okay, I looked into Matthew Powerland's education. Okay, he's got a bachelor degree in political science, and he's got another degree in something else. But the prices of these courses in these universities: $50,000, $100,000. Some of these universities go up to $150,000, $200,000, John. Yeah. So would you go to one of these special Jesuit universities for whatever price, 25 to 150 grand, and then walk away from that and say, I didn't get no education at all. I'm going to be a video game guy on YouTube, you know?
Yeah. Oh. No way, man.
No. No, I'm going to be Matthew Powerland, king of the flat earth. Like, you know what I mean? There's more to it than that, buddy.
There's
more
a lot to it. Yes.
A lot to it. They're never going to tell us that they work for the Jesuits. They're never going to tell us that they have connections, right? Patricia Steere is never going to talk about her rock and roll connections through her brother. They're never going to talk about Dan and Tim and all the other Pratts, and they're never going to talk about any of this. They're going to deny.
Yep.
Because that's what they met about in Houston at the YouTube headquarters, right?
Yes. That's right. Yeah, all one big team, man.
Yep.
And all families go back for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And years.
Of course they do.
To put this out, because if this is the truth,
it
just couldn't be, you know, that these guys just all of a sudden come together. 2015, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It started. Things just doesn't work that way. You know? And if it was some guys, it would be some guys like me and you just, you know, on YouTube discussing this, and it wouldn't be, you know, we wouldn't be getting thousands and thousands of hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We might not have even found each other. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
It's a YouTube. It's their own TV series, just like the Cobra Kai, Karate Kid things coming to YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's definitely the new media, because if you look at the TV ratings, they're plummeting. Barely anybody buys cable anymore. If somebody has cable that I know, they're probably stealing it, right? Because it's so easy, and they don't watch it. They watch internet. They watch YouTube, they watch Netflix, they watch other streaming services. So YouTube has to take the reins that the media, TV, news, radio once had. It used to be the newspapers that we listened to, right?
Yeah.
So YouTube has to take those reins. You can see the cooperation within the YouTube platform now when you look at, okay, this half of YouTube content creators are promoting vaccines and the globe earth. This half of YouTube is promoting anti-vaccines and the flat earth, but they're not. Okay, I watched a review of the Behind the Curve documentary from this African-American fella. He had a lot of good things to say, but then he got into Patricia Steere, and it was almost like he was her best friend. And it made me sick to my stomach, because he was. I never took anything Johnny or anybody ever said about Patricia Steere serious for being a reptilian or anything like that. That's just all disinfo to me. Some of us were having fun. Some of us were, I don't know.
Yeah.
But this guy got so serious about people that were calling her it was like he was trying to make conspiracy theorists look so paranoid that they're starting to call their own leaders reptilians now, right? So I see the cooperation. It's subtle, but it's there, right? It's there. And they're all working. In 1 week, you'll see Roman Atwood, PewDiePie, all the big guys, Mr. Beast or whatever his name is. They'll all come out with a Globe Earth video in the same week.
Yeah.
And you'll wonder, what's that all about, right? Just coincidence, Brian. It's just coincidence.
Yeah. I saw him supposedly meeting with Elon Musk when I was looking him up last night.
Seen that.
Supposed to be having some kind of podcast or something together.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, this guy does video games. He's meeting with Elon Musk, the SpaceX guy, right?
Yep.
Are you fucking kidding me? I mean,
and you'll look into him a little deeper. You'll see that he has some kind of anti-Jew hatred there because he got blasted by the media for posting some anti-Jew stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
And and Disney
like?
dropped him.
Yeah.
Disney dropped him. Warner Brothers picked him up.
He's doing all right. He's hanging in there.
Yeah.
He's only the biggest YouTuber out there.
Yeah, man. He's living large, huh?
He's got a great operation on, and so does the Truman Show, Flat Earth reality TV show.
Yeah.
They just got to divide it between them, you know. Well, I don't know. They probably all make about the same, you know. Even the ones that are the commenters and the.
I mean, I know, I understand.
You gotta have it all.
Patricia Steer isn't Justin Bieber. Mark Sargent isn't Kanye West, right? But you go into the comments section and you'll swear to God that they're like superstars, you know, like you should be bowing down and washing Patricia's feet. She's so beautiful, right? Their content is so worthy. They tell so much truth, right? Like, where do these fans come from?
Thank you. I mean, like, these people are so blind that they were able to see that the Earth is not a spinning ball spinning through thousands of miles. All this great awakening, you know, that nobody in the world can see. It's so true, but yet they can't see that these people are fake and frauds. They don't even feel uneasy about it like I did right from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
where's the PayPal link?
Yeah.
Where do I donate? Such great content. Where do you find these people? Where does Matthew Powerland find the morons? You know.
Yeah.
I don't know, John. I don't know.
And I consider us all as flat earthers morons, but I mean, but open mind are the few that I've taught, which is very few, you know, but I mean, I think that they're open-minded people, or are open to the truth-minded people that can see things clearly, but yet they can't see. They question everything, but yet.
Question the field.
There was some Glober the other day on Twitter that was talking about it was a great thing he wrote out about television entertainment and politics and sports and pretty much all being BS. You can't get any truth off the radio, off TV, and like I said, this is a Glober, you know, and he was going, just great stuff, the internet. Then he goes and says, you know, the only way that you can get the truth is from alternative media. Basically, that was his last thing he said, and I said, "Are you telling me that alternative media is not controlled?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I said to him.
Yeah.
He never responded.
Yeah. No, Alex Jones in control, John. Okay, David Icke is in control, buddy. Right.
We've slipped in a crack for YouTube, which is one of the biggest internet sites out there. I mean, I don't know. Pornhub might be bigger. I don't know. I mean, Google, I think, might be big, but YouTube has got to be up there. I think it is like 3 or 4. You know.
Yeah. I see it. I see it all. I see the control.
Yeah.
Like these ratings that I'm looking at on the documentary. It's not hard to tell, right? It's all controlled, critical. Right at the top, big capital letters, critical acclaim. Okay, so they're trying to portray to you that they're open-minded and they're not putting the good reviews up. They're going to put the ones that are critical up so that you can see. Okay, so there's deception. right?
Yeah.
One of the most fun and intriguing documentaries of the year. Does that sound critical? Right? Makes a compelling case for empathy and dialogue. Does that sounds critical against me? They're
Yes.
saying that the people watching the video will feel empathy for flat earthers when they're done watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have some dialogue to go with because of Bob's, 15-degree proof that the earth is spinning. They'll be able to mention that to me. Well, didn't you see the documentary where Bob proves that the earth spins? And I'll have to say, yeah, you're right. I'm dumb,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
That's how they're doing it, right? That's
Had to
all,
sell it out, man.
it's all
They had
controlled, buddy.
they got to the point where they could get on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so then they sold us out.
They did.
Which
Patty even she sells us out right in the video, man.
Mm-hmm.
Guys stand there asking her questions about how the video is making it look like the earth is a ball, and she's like, yeah, I agree, it does. And he's like, yeah, so you admit that people will walk away from this and turn away from the flat earth, basically, in a nutshell. And she's like, yeah, I agree. So right there, man.
Wow.
I heard, I don't know if you ever heard of Flat Earth Fokker, but him the other day tweet or a Facebook message or something admitting that he knows that the flat earth thing is a lie. Okay? I'm not saying it is, that's just what he said. All right. So then we got Nathan Thompson, Facebook post one day. Him coming out admitting that his whole flat earth experience was just a university experiment that he's been doing. And he's documenting people's names, their behaviors, and what they believe and what they don't believe. And he's making money on the side off of it with his Legal Shield business, which I think you understand what that is. That's a pyramid scheme through and through. It's a lawyer in your pocket. It's like a lawyer app. You open an app, you get a lawyer if you get pulled over for a speeding ticket. But they don't tell you all the ins and outs of this program, how it's illegal and how they scam you of your money and whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it's completely controlled, right? Completely.
Yeah. Unbelievable, man. Yeah, it's yeah.
And you see the damage control when you confront these people with facts and how they block you. You're not even being mean in the comments or the chat. You're just asking, hey, I have a question. What's up with this?
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting blocked or you're getting pulled off or you're getting trolled, right?
Yes.
So my remedy for that was when I get blocked from IPS's chat back in the day, I made a video about what I was trying to say in the chat, asking the question in the video. And that's when I started to get trolled, right? So it's damage control all over the place, man. They got different departments. It's compartmentalized. The people that came after me, threatening my wife and my kids, they had the cops show up to my house. There's so much happened. I got hauled into the police station, John. They're in a different department than Patricia Steer. They might not know they're working for Patricia Steer, but they're shutting up the only opposition, real opposition at the time to Patricia Steer was you, me, Johnny, Dex, Bob, right? So we were hollering from the rooftops factual information, mainly that we got from you through the Witchy Woman series with the whole connections and friends list and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And we got shut down because of it, because somebody said something and I got trolled to death. Bob got trolled to death. Johnny almost trolled to death, so it's hard for people to see that side of YouTube, but I've seen it. So I can speak experience, right?
And YouTube enables these people to do what they want to do.
They do. 100%. Because I can report a video of somebody threatening to shoot me with a hollow point bullet, and it will stay up there and still stays up there. But yet I put out a video with Matthew Powerland in it and a $sign and a cha-ching noise, and I get taken down for violation, right? When all I'm doing is fair use, criticism, free speech. I'm not. I once witnessed a guy say that he was going to do a 24-hour live stream on Patricia Steer, John. And this guy proceeded, and we all thought, oh, great, I can't wait. He went on, and he went live for 18 hours, and all he did was cursed and swore and called her names and played the trashiest videos out there that he could find about her. He didn't do any exposing. And it just kind of leaves you thinking, okay, it's definitely something going on here, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Who's paying these people? Why are they doing this?
Yeah.
Why are they finding the drive to send a father of 6 kids to the police station on bogus arson charges?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why? What propels somebody to do something like that? And I can't answer the question other than the simplest answer, and that's that they're controlled and paid to do it. Money talks, bullshit walks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Since I've been back, since I did the first video, I tried to go on there. All I'm trying to do is take my grandson's pictures off my phone and put them on my computer. And every time I try to log in, I have to go through Apple to sign in and everything to get to sync my phone with my computer. It's being blocked by somebody from Houston, Texas. They keep trying to hack it. They got my password and everything. And every time I change it, they always come back and it says again that somebody from Houston, Texas is trying to access my account. And so I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know how to get around it because even there's even a security code that they send me to try to get around it. Every time I do it, and every time I try to change the password, it's the same thing every time.
All right. So there's something on Google called second step verification.
Okay.
And it's something along the lines of having another email.
Okay.
So that when that happens and you get locked out of your account, you can click forgot password, or I think my account has been hacked on your Google Help page, and it'll hook you up through your other email with another code for you, so that you can override the person that's overriding you.
Okay.
Just second step verification is what it is. Sometimes you can use a phone number, another phone number, or another email, or you can have a series of questions that you have to answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I'll try to do that. Dog,
Yeah. I'll try to do that then because it's. That's all I'm trying to do, and they're trying. You know what I mean? Like, and I know it's Patty or NASA or somebody. Somebody working with them. I know it is.
Probably NASA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of NASA, Scott Kelly was in the documentary too. So NASA worked with this video as well with Patty and Mark and all these people.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cooperation is ripe, right?
Yeah.
But Google also takes it another step. You can log in on your desktop if you have one, a laptop or a tablet, and you can sign your account out of all other devices, and that will make it so that whoever it is accessing your account will be signed out. And if you have the password changed, then there you got them. They can't get back in, right?
Sign out of all of your accounts.
Sign out of all devices. That's
all
what
devices.
It'll say.
Okay.
It'll even show you where your email is signed in at. Like, I've seen my email signed in from as far away as Nova Scotia.
Wow.
Right? Which tells me somebody from Nova Scotia, one of my family members, is looking in my emails.
Yeah.
Right? So I changed my account. My password. I changed my password. I did the second step verification thing. I signed out of all other devices.
Yeah.
So I bought my mother a tablet before she died, right?
Yes.
I got her a tablet so she could talk to me and whatnot, Facebook and whatever. And when she passed away, I was able to lock her tablet so that anybody who tries to access it or her emails gets a message from me, a personal message from me that I typed in, and it'll tell me where they logged in at, what time. It'll kind of narrow it down in the neighborhood with a little blue dot. So Google's gone all the way to try to help you with that.
Well, good deal. Okay. Well,
Still hate Google though,
because that's all. It's just. I'm not trying to do videos like that. I'm just trying to take my grandson's pictures, videos off of my phone.
Yeah.
It's screwed up, man.
Yeah.
I pretty much lost my whole family because flat Earth. I guess I've told you this before, but
Yeah.
I mean, I have not spoken to my family since 2016. The only thing I have left is uncles and cousins and things like that. My
Yeah.
parents are dead, but I mean, and I know, and when I started coming against the Freemasons and stuff, it may be that, or it may be this flat Earth thing. I don't know, but somehow they had to find out. You know what I'm talking about? I don't, somebody, because my uncle was a Freemason, and so I don't know. I don't really know. I know somebody come to my daughter's work one night and ask her, or start asking about, if she was kin to me or kin to my dad, and just begin to tell her that all this kind of stuff, about, he knew a lot of my family, and then said he was a Freemason at the end of the conversation, and she don't know what a Freemason was, and this was right after I found out about or started learning about the flat Earth or whatever, right? It was just so weird how that went down, and then it was, that was 2015, but in 2016, at some point, once I started doing videos, my uncle and them stopped calling, and I ain't heard from them since then. So somehow or another, they found out, and I don't know if it's if it's, the Freemasons or whatever talked. I don't know what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somehow or another, he found out. And so, anyway, it's just, I couldn't even go to a friend of the family's funeral a week ago because my family would be there, and you know what I mean? I know that they don't want to be around me. You know what I'm talking about? So,
awkward. Yep.
Screwed up, man.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't any of the other conspiracies that got me shunned. It was specifically flat Earth. I try to be a well-read man. I have a whole 6-7 foot bookshelf here with hundreds of books. I try to educate myself. I try to make sure my kids are educated. I try to speak well. I try to be clear. I try to be to the point. I had a lot of credibility in the church community. I mean, I was well respected.
Yeah.
I was getting standing ovations, making speeches and stuff, and really, really hitting home with some things, and helping people. But as soon as the flat Earth thing started, that seemed to be when all of a sudden now Brian's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe the Earth's a ball. What's wrong with him? He's lost his mind. It's like you try to reason with them. You try to be like, but you already don't believe in evolution. You already believe the science books are bullshit. You already think the Big Bang's a lie. You believe in creation. You believe in the Bible. How can you
go so far?
How can you still believe in a ball after what I've explained to you about it? How can you still believe it and say that you don't? It just blows my mind, and that's when I get shunned.
Man, I guess. I mean, they've seen the pictures. I don't know if that's it or what it is, but I know that was the way I was when my friend Kevin called me and was pressing me, telling me that he thought it was flat and everything, and I was like, well, I've seen the pictures. He's like, what pictures have you seen? And I said, well, I mean, hell, all the pictures I've seen, all the footage I've seen is his ball. He said, well, go on there and look at the pictures. Go on, Google it right now. Go on and look at the Earth pictures and tell me if those are real. I said, okay, fine, yeah, and I was pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I went on there and started looking at them. But you got to think though, man. I mean, I was so far removed from just everything as far as just. I had been studying about ball worship and just all kind of stuff over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I started looking at these pictures, it just was like bing, 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 bing. I was like, oh my God. You know what I mean? This is ball worship.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. And then he said, remember what we've talked about in the past? And I was like, yeah. And, then he told me to go look at, maybe Mark Sargent or Eric DeBay's videos or trying to think who else. So maybe Rob Skiba's videos because of the Christian thing.
Uh-huh.
And I went on there and started looking at those videos and just, but I don't know, man. I could put it all together almost as they were talking. What I'm talking about? It was just, I was on the same page. It didn't take me but a few minutes to become a flat, whereas like Mark Sargent said, it took him years or a long time to come to that conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't take me long, man, because I was already ready for it, already
Right.
prepared for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was the pictures that I was argumentative about until I really looked at it with the mindset that are these real or are they fake? As crazy as that sounds,
Yep.
that was what got me was, or is it possible? That's what he put in my head. Is it possible these pictures could be fake?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at them, there was no doubt in my mind that they probably were fake.
And it's one confirmation after another. Once you
Yeah.
start questioning things, then you start seeing NASA saying things like it's CGI because it has to be, right? Like we stitch together images, we stitch together numbers, we do this. This is painted. It has, like, it's just, we can't get through the Van Allen belt, right? Like, things just start falling into place. You get one confirmation after another, after another, after another. Not that the Earth is flat, but that the Earth is not a ball.
Yeah.
It's the flat Earth movement that pulls you into the flat Earth mentality that you have to believe that it's flat right now because it's not a ball. I'm a little slower than that. I want to investigate. Is it flat? Right?
And I think the deception, Brian, is more or less that they're hiding the firmament more so than the flat Earth. It doesn't really matter what the shape is as much as it matters that they're hiding God by hiding the firmament.
Well,
that's what the main agenda is that they're hiding the fact that we're in an enclosed world and God is, and if we are in an enclosed world, then there has to be a God creator, right?
Yeah.
And the scripture has to be correct. I think that's more or less, what they're hiding. It's not this, because people say, what difference does it make as far as the shape of the earth? It really doesn't, except for the fact that that the flat earth demands something in return for space, and I think that what they're really hiding is the firmament, and that's why it's such a debate over whether it's an infinite plane or it's or it's enclosed or whatever, And Eric DeBay got on early trying to shield Mark Sargent out because of his enclosed system, and so it's and if you took sides with Mark Sargent, you were automatically a shield. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's more or less that's what the issue that's the people don't understand that though. They think that they don't understand the firmament thing because the flat Earth is the term, the phrase, catchphrase that's being pushed, and it should be more or less the firmament is the issue that should be that's what they're hiding, because by hiding that they're hiding God.
Yep. Oh yeah, I see it. They make you feel completely ashamed if you mention the dome, the firmament, enclosed system.
Yeah.
If you believe that, you're with Mark Sargent and he's with the Flat Earth Society. How can you? Because it raises a few questions within inside yourself. Once you have to accept: is it enclosed in a dome? Is there a God at the top of it?
Yeah.
Is this all created? Then I would have to admit there was a God. That's not good for the atheist, is it? That's
not good
for
at
the person that hates God. It's not good for the person that loves Lucifer, right? Yeah, it's good for a lot of people, John.
Yes, yes. But the flat Earth is really meaningless without the emphasis that we're in an enclosed system.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, so what? I mean, why would they do this? And they can't give you a good answer.
No.
I mean, the flat Earth or the main guys, the Morgal and Jared, all them were actually still believing in space almost, or pushing space a little bit, or not really sure that there was a firmament. It's same with Eric DeBay, and it's same with Matt Pyerland, all of them. Mark Sargent and Rob Skiba were the only big guys that were pushing this enclosed system, and Mark looked just so shilly. You know,
Yeah.
it was being pushed that, but Mark almost come off like the good guy. At first, it's like, oh, they're just beating him down, but then I couldn't get over how natural of a radio voice and radio personality and his show with that Jonathan guy, it just come off just so scripted and just, and I could go on and on about the clues and so it was hard to. It just made me feel like, because I kept thinking, well, first of the year they're gonna come out and just tell us all a big joke, and pretty much that's kind of what they started doing.
That's what's happening, buddy. That's what's happening. And think about this too. Okay, it was all these people, all right, Russian vids, and I can go way back to people like William Schneeblin and Bill Cooper and Jordan Maxwell and them, but let's keep it to the relevant people like Russian vids and Patricia Steer and Mark Sargent, and all these people are supposed to be here to expose the Freemasons, the Jesuits, the truth. We're looking into the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were the people that were telling us about the number 33 and all these connections with the Jews and all these connections with Hollywood. And now it seems the tables have turned, and they're actually going after the people that believe these things. Okay, so now we're crazy for believing these very shills showed us in the first place. We're crazy for thinking the Earth's flat. We're crazy for thinking Freemasons run the world. We're crazy for thinking Rome has power. We're crazy for thinking the Bible's true. We're crazy for thinking that there's a dome, right? It's an agenda to flip the truth movement, I guess is what they want to call it. They like to box us all up into a movement, right?
Yeah,
and flip it on its head.
It seemed like they were pushing the occult, especially Mark Sargent and the Freemason stuff from the beginning. They were really trying to bring us into the Freemason society, the secret society.
Hermetic symbolism all through Mark Sargent's.
I love that.
Intro. It's all Hermetic symbol in his intro, man. It's all ancient Egyptian, Rosicrucian, occult. They're connected. They're all connected to Truth Frequency Radio, John. Truth Frequency Radio is run by these two wingnuts. One's a witch, one's a warlock. They're self-admitted this. They do all these rituals. They practice magic. They practice black magic. They practice Satanism. They worship Lucifer. And they're the ones bringing us truth. They're the ones telling us how the world runs. I don't think so. I don't buy it. Right? Rob Skiba's connected with them. All of them are. All of them are. Right?
Alex Jones, I think, is connected to them.
And so you look even further up and you find out that Truth Frequency Radio is owned by Genesis Radio. It's like a Roman Catholic / Jew organization at the top, right? Controls Alex Jones, controls Truth Frequency Radio. What was it was TNS or TSN network or something like that.
TSN sounds right.
Yeah, something like that anyway, but it's all controlled, and you go right to the top, and that's why they don't want us investigating. That's why I get bashed. That's why you get made fun of. That's why Johnny gets made fun of. It's because we're looking past. We're not stopping at the flat Earth wall. We're not stopping at the hate the Jew wall. We're keeping on going. Okay, it's fine. I know the truth about the Jews now. Okay, it's fine. I know about flat Earth now, but I want to keep going. I want to get to the top. I want to see who's running this show.
Yes.
And it starts bringing you higher to the Rome, and then you get people coming out making videos against you saying it's not Rome, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, right? It's like, wow, it's so blatantly controlled.
Always, man. It's Jesuits saying it,
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh man, this is such a. It's like you said earlier. It's a Jesuit ecumenical movement in itself.
It is. It
really is.
Everything is, though, John. Look at Trump. Look at the Trump election with Hillary Clinton, and at the end there, where they went to that meeting with the with that cardinal. At that meeting, they had dinner, and it was a whole bunch of secretive knights of Malta sitting around, right? Henry Kissinger way up in the back, right? Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton there cheering it up with the old Pope, right?
Yes,
It's
he's
all
a Jesuit, and so is the Clintons. They're
yeah,
Jesuits.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because Trump went to a Jesuit university, Clinton's went to a Jesuit university.
Yeah. I think it was Hillary and Trump that went to the same Jesuit school, wasn't it? I know all his kids went there to like Georgetown and
Yep.
maybe there was another university they went to as well. But
Yale is one of them. Princeton, Yale,
yeah,
Georgetown. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's I don't know, man. It's I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't know who. How many people's actually real in this? I mean, all. I mean, we said it before. I don't know.
It's
Man.
hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It really is.
I wish there was more people, though. I really do. I mean, I really wish there were more people that really. But it seems like everybody's always pushing their own agenda or agendas. Anytime you come across somebody that you hope has got the truth a little bit, or they seem maybe like they're on the same page, like they're pushing some kind of crazy agenda.
Exactly.
That may or may not be connected to flat Earth, or may be connected. But and it's got to be this way. You can. They want you to see it their way. And if you don't, then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just
I do. I'll show you.
I try not to push things on people, because I know everybody's got their own way of learning and stuff. I try to be open minded, try to present things, but I try not to push it on, too much. Because everybody comes about things differently. You know what I mean? I don't want to just get on some kind of crazy tangent and just beat it down. You know what I mean? And just that's it. That's my whole focus. But but that seems to be what you have, man, in this thing, and in all cults for that matter. But certainly in this thing. But anyway, I guess I probably need to get off here and get ready for bed.
Yeah.
I got to get my grandson in the morning.
Tired myself, buddy. Tired myself. Losing my voice. So
Yeah, I
I
understand.
think I just shared the link, so we should hop off anyway, just in case. I was going to show you this character that's been following me, but I think we should hop off anyway.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Well, it's good to talk to you, man. Hopefully, we'll connect again here before long.
All right, man.
All right.
All right, John. Have a good night, man. God bless.
God bless to you, man. You have a good one, Brian.